yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for you too.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I'm jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground when you say you left.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
I've told you 1,000 times, Michelle is not a man, okay? So please stop calling her Big Mike. She really hates that. I really don't know what else to say. I just need you guys to believe me, okay? Michelle is not a man, I promise. So stop calling her Big Mike, okay?
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
I am struggling extremely with mental health issues, and I am trying to do that whilst being FTFE. And unfortunately, talking to flat earthers is quite painful.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
Riverside, wait for me, I'll be coming.
Law. Nowhere in nature or in a controlled environment can we ever produce a volume outside of containment.
What's that?
Has gas been seen or
what's that, brother?
Now let me see you drop it to the flow, drop it to the flow.
Chicken, banana, chicken, banana, chicken, banana, banana, banana.
I remember when I lost my mind.
There's Eldon Bean's little gal. He loves her. Is he in here tonight? Yep, there he is. Look at, he says the whoop whoop in there. Look at all these people we got fallen. The fallen slaves us all. Only up dudes is here. We got LJ, unindoctrinated, Mr. Tahiti, TJ Hoff, Horace Sheets, Stephanie McGuire, the true few. We got Gordzilla here tonight. Veronica Joseph, welcome. We've got Lisa Marie Tattersall. Good to see you, babe. Mr. Tahiti again. Let's see who we got. Michael King. Good to see you. Any relation to Steven? I hope not. Joseph Osborne is here tonight. Santero, good to see you all. Here I am. Let's see who else. Bearju is here with us as well. Sis, the true few, Brad and Tasha, one or both. Either way, we're glad to have them. Crashes 82, J.R. Hartley, and many, many more. The Crypt Rick I see just popped in. Who else we got? Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Not yet. IBM McFly. IB McFly. Hello, McFly. Oh, wow. So I guess there was kind of a blue wave that went across the country in their little suggestion box of slaves. But, you know, they kind of did that to themselves, I think. Seeing a real heavy duty pushback of people sick of funding these foreign countries while ours just goes into the toilet. And they're making it known. They don't care about any kind of labels or any other thing. I watched Ben Shapiro melt down over Nick Fuentes today. Look, it's over. It's over. Okay. Zog is dead, at least in this country. We're going to see that. They'll try to do some sneaky shit. You'll see. Probably even pull a false flag, try to get us involved in another war. That's what they always do. That's good stuff too. Brought to you by the Morningwood Lumber Company. That's where we like to get all of our fine wood from. Wow, we got Wake Now here. So I figured tonight we would go over a book. It's really good. I put the link to the PDF in the okay, Chad says he's going to be on when he finishes making dinner. Okay, well, take your time, my man. We're going to go over, and we'll do this over a course of a few nights. And this first part of the show, we're going to do the introduction in chapter 1 of a book by Pao Chang called Word Magic. And it's pretty interesting. Some of the stuff I go, yeah, you know, but a lot of it will make you think. A lot of it will make you think. I've got it blowed up so that everybody will be able to see it good at home as we go over it. And it's pretty interesting. There's just starts off with a pretty interesting facts and everything. There's Unindoctrinated and David Koresh. We kind of give people a little bit of time to show up here. We've got 93 watching over on YouTube, and it looks like it's telling me 7 over on Rumble. The chat is working over there. I used it. I even put little Donald Trump in there bobbing his head back and forth. Now, how come they don't have like a Barack Obama? See, that's racist. They're not diverse at Rumble. I guess that's what's going on. Let's see. All right. Well, I guess we can just kind of dive right in. The introduction, and if anybody misses part of the first part of it, well, that's what the rewind button's for. So we'll, no further ado, we'll go ahead and get into this. And I'll go ahead and read it. If you want to read along at home, I did put the link to the PDF in the description. I'll drop it in the chat as well. Let me put it over here. And I'll put it over on, whoops, on, that's not the one I want. Dadgummit. Wait. I want this one. There's 44 Jaxes over there I see on the Rumble side, and I put this in the chat over on Rumble as well. So if anybody wants to go along with it, hey, that's what we'll do. So let's see. Let's get right off. It's in the introduction. It says, words are used by people to communicate every day. Yet most people still do not realize how words shape their lives and perception. Did you know that most people speak over 7,000 words a day? That's a lot, man. As of May, some even more than that, I would say. As of May 2016, so this book's about 9 years old, there are about 7.4 billion people living on Earth. If you multiply 7,000 words by 7.4 billion people, you get 51.8 trillion words. This means that at least 51.8 trillion words are spoken every day. Even though we hear and speak words all the time, most of us have little or no clue as to how powerful words are. Words are not just elements of speech or writing, because when words are spoken out loud, they transform into sound, frequency, and vibration. Words also carry information, which plays an important role for communication. Without information, we will have a hard time learning things and communicating to one another, because words carry information, sound, frequency, and vibration. They play a very important role in our lives. Furthermore, they can be used to harness the power of energy. We human beings did not always rely on words to communicate, because we used to be able to communicate telepathically due to certain tragic events in our past that caused our higher strands of DNA to mutate and turn off. Words were introduced by the dark forces, groups of demonic thought form entities, as a tool to enslave us. And look, here's D-Man over here tonight. What's happening, D-Man?
Hello. I don't mean to interrupt.
Hey, you all right? You all right, man? So it says the source of the dark forces, and this is interesting, is a cosmic virus. This virus is not your common virus because it is very intelligent. The main goal of the cosmic virus is to infect all living things in the universe with its psychopathic thoughts and death science ideology. Many people's minds are infected with this psychopathic thoughts of the cosmic virus, especially people who have strong psychopathic traits. Like any virus, the goal of the cosmic virus is to drain its host of energy until it dies, and therefore its mission is to cause death and destruction throughout the universe. The good news is that this virus can only infect us when we live in a state of ignorance, fear, hatred, and irresponsibility. As we learn to live peaceably with one another and heal our bodies and activate our higher strands of DNA, our frequency will increase beyond the limit of the cosmic virus, making us immune to it. Today, many scientists like to call our higher strands of DNA as junk DNA because they believe these strands have no function. There is nothing junk about the higher strands of our DNA, because nature would never create something that has no role to play in the evolution of the universe. Our junk DNA contains the higher and more powerful strands of our DNA. These strands hold one of the keys to unlocking memories of our true history and activating our dormant spiritual powers, in other words, telepathy. And this is true because there are synapses between the right and left hemisphere of the brain that should be active but are not, and they cannot figure out why they're not active. It's kind of weird. So it says the reason why our junk DNA does not seem to function is because it is turned off. In our current state of evolution, turning on all of our higher strands of DNA at once would destroy our health. The current state of our bodies cannot handle the high frequency energies that travel through our higher strands of DNA when they are activated. To safely activate our junk DNA without damaging our bodies, we need to slowly activate them in sequence. This is one of the reasons why DNA evolves very slowly. Because our higher strands of DNA are turned off, our spiritual powers and higher senses are weakened, making it easier for the dark forces to use the power of words to enslave us. All the languages of humanity were originally created by the dark forces as a tool to enslave us. And that would have been around. It's what I think the whole story of Babel, the Tower of Babel is. You know, where he scattered the people and confused their languages, because I think that prior to that event, people actually communicated telepathically. There were no different languages. If you study the origins and history of words and languages and their connection to certain secret societies, you should eventually come to the conclusion that all languages are interconnected at a very deep level. Furthermore, you should know that the language system is a tool used by the dark forces to cast magic spells on the human race so that they can enslave our bodies, minds, and souls. By the end of this book, you will know exactly what that means. Chapter 1, The Power of Words and the Art of Word Magic. Any questions so far, Mr. D-Man?
No, I'm in for the ride, man.
It starts getting kind of interesting. Some of the stuff I go, well, you know, but a lot of it is spot on. So some spiritual teachings have suggested that the world is made of space, expansiveness and infinity, air, mobility, fire, temperature, water, fluidity, and earth, which is solidity. These 5 elements are not based on physical qualities, but spiritual qualities. Besides these 5 qualities of spiritual energy, the world is also made of words, because we live in a world that relies heavily on words to communicate. When words are spoken out loud, they transform into sound, frequency, and vibration, which are some of the fundamental building blocks of matter. They are the fundamental building blocks. What do you mean, some of them? The physical world we live in is made of matter. Therefore, it is also made of sound, frequency, and vibration. In other words, the material world was brought into existence using the power of spoken words. A spoken word has sound, frequency, and vibration, giving it the power to affect how energy manifests itself into physicality. Hence, the Bible verse, in the beginning was the Word. Phonetically, the term world sounds similar to the term world, which is the past tense of the term whirl, meaning to turn around, spin, or rotate rapidly. Before you were born, you were whirled into existence due to the fact that your physical body is made of atoms. What do atoms do? They spin, they rotate very rapidly. This may be why the movie The Matrix has a character named Neo. In Latin, the word neo means produce by spinning, spin, or weave. The term world also sounds similar to the term word, and the term word sounds like the term whir. One of the origins of the term whir is derived from the Old Norse word hvirfla. Oh, I can see how that would happen, meaning to go around or spin. In English, the term whir is defined as to go, fly, revolve, or otherwise move quickly with a humming or buzzing sound. The definitions of the words in bold font in the previous 2 paragraphs are all related to the word spin. Why the word spin? Because everything in the universe spins, and we live in a galaxy that spins. The world known as Earth also spins. No, it doesn't. On its axis, and the people living on it use spoken words to create their reality. The language system is made of words because words have magic powers and are great for deceiving you. One of the reasons why words can easily deceive you is because they can be misinterpreted and misunderstood. Furthermore, each letter of a word can be rearranged to hide the word's deeper meanings. In addition, a word can be given many different definitions to confuse you. To comprehend how words are used to deceive you, you need to know the occult definitions of the word language. To find the occult definitions of the word language, you need to split it into 3 words and find the definitions of the newly created words to see what they mean. When you slice the word language into 3 different words, it transforms into language. Like that, language. Lan is the feminine Chinese and Vietnamese name for orchid, The Vietnamese land changes this to the masculine context, meaning unicorn, coming from the Kai Lan. When Kai Lan is translated from Vietnamese to Latin, we get the word unicornus. The Kai Lan was a dragon-type creature that was said to only protect the noble ones. It was also known as the Kulin. Gu is the god of war in the Dahomey mythology. So now we have Lan, a monster that protects the noble ones, and Gu, the god of war. Age is, of course, the age or ages of the zodiac. Hence, Langu ages are the monster of war that protect the noble ones or golden gods throughout the ages. The language system is a good tool to help us communicate to one another. However, because of our ignorance of the power of words, the dark forces, false gods, have used it against us to wage war on humanity for many ages. They have used the Langu age system to divide the human race and prevent us from communicating to people who speak different language. This made it easier for the minions of the dark forces to engineer wars among nations, and therefore tricking us to fight one another instead of making the real perpetrators liable for their crimes against humanity. The dark forces are obsessed with wars for the reason that wars cause a lot of death and destruction, and therefore they generate a large quantity of fear energy for the dark forces to feed on. At the deeper level, wars are sacrificial rituals for generating negative energy and preventing us from increasing our frequency beyond certain levels. These things make it harder for us to ascend to higher states of consciousness. In the English language, nearly every word is carefully designed and put together in a way that produces magic effects, so that the people, the dark magician, who created these words can trick you to play their con game, to enslave the human race. Is this hard for you to believe? Read further and I will show you all the evidence you need. English is the language that the dark forces want to use to control the world. This is one of the hidden reasons why most countries are now requiring English as a second language. Even some of the governments of poor countries are urging their people to learn English. The good news is that if we can prevent the minions of the dark forces from establishing their one world government, making English as the language of humanity would not be such a bad idea. In the occult world, certain words are used along with rituals and sacred geometries to direct and control energy to create certain desired effects. This process of using words, rituals, and sacred geometries to control and direct energy is known as magic, or magic with a K. Be aware that I am not talking about the magic tricks you see on television or magic shows. Most people will laugh at the idea of magic being real, but if only they knew what magic really is and how magic is used to control them, they would not be laughing. The world is dominated by magic. Until you train your eyes to see how magic is used to control you, you will never know how the world really works. The controllers who pull the strings of politicians are well aware of how magic works. Many of them actually practice the art of magic, which is why they are sometimes referred to as the dark magicians. Unfortunately, they like to use magic for power and evil purposes instead of using it to unite humanity and change the world for the better. They're immersed in the worldly aspect of everything. They're of the world and not in the world. That's the problem, see? It says the most powerful thing in the universe is energy. If you learn how to control and direct energy, you can become one of the most powerful people on earth. The unlimited power of energy is the reason why dark magicians, which are the controllers who are controlling the governments of the world, are so obsessed with the process of controlling energy. The key to controlling energy is magic, which is the art of using sacred sound, sacred geometry, and natural forces to direct and control energy to produce certain desired effects. So then we got, it's and you find that when you start getting into your legalese and shit.
Yes,
like
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, find out that
Especially
words.
legalese.
Yeah, I mean, words we use in just the secular context are not what they actually mean in reality. You know.
Yeah, especially legalese. It's made that way for you to not understand it either. That's why you need a lawyer.
Yeah, somebody who knows, yeah. Or you can learn the shit yourself. which I suggest. Attorneys eat their young. I'm
they do.
convinced of that. I'm convinced of that. It says the art of magic is often practiced along with certain words in sacred geometries. The common words that are used in magic rituals are the words that produce powerful sound tones when spoken out loud. These sound tones have powerful vibrational patterns, which are used to direct and control energy and harness its power. Sound is able to direct energy for the reason that it carries certain frequency patterns that attract energy to flow in a controllable manner. Furthermore, sound is one of the natural forces used by nature to create crystalline structures and sacred geometries, which are some of the building blocks of matter. If you want to know and see how sound controls and directs energy to produce sacred geometry, study cymatics, which we've shown on here several times, and watch these two fascinating short videos that they have titled Cymatics, Sacred Geometry Formed by Sound, and Cymatics, Science versus Music. And I believe we have shown those on here before. But there again, I've put the link to this PDF in the description, and it was in the chat. And this is a hyperlink that will actually take you to those videos if you've never seen them before. Or maybe after we're done with this chapter, we'll go back and look at it. Let's see. If for some reason the links to the videos do not work, do a quick search by typing the keywords of the titles of the video in YouTube's search form and then click the search button. Because you now know what magic is, let us turn our attention to what words are so that you know what the term word magic means. A word is defined as a sound or a combination of sounds, or its representation in writing or printing that symbolizes and communicates a meaning and may consist of a single morpheme or a combination of morphemes. The fuck is a morpheme? Does anybody know? Let's look. Let me look.
Morphing?
Yeah, not morphine.
Yeah, morphing is like if something goes from here to there. It morphed there.
A meaningful morphological unit of language that cannot be further divided.
Oh, I thought you said morphing.
No. See, it's where is that word?
Damn word magic.
Yeah, right. They got us. There it is. This word right here. Morphine.
Okay, I see. HEME.
Yeah. Okay. All right. When you put the term word and magic together, you get the term word magic, which means the art of communicating using sacred sounds and symbols to direct and control energy to produce certain desired effects. All words have magic properties. However, certain words have more magic properties for the reason that they carry more energy. This is why during magic rituals, certain specific words are used. Word magic can be used for good or evil purposes. Unfortunately, the dark forces and their minions are in control of the language system of Earth and therefore are able to effectively use word magic to control us. The good news is that when we figure out how word magic works and become aware of how it is being used to control us, the magic powers of words cannot affect us as much. Why words are more powerful than swords? Words are powerful because they carry energy, sound, and frequency, which are some of the building blocks of matter. In addition, they carry information that can be used as knowledge to create or destroy things. When this knowledge is experienced into wisdom, it becomes very powerful and can be used to expand a person's consciousness and spiritual powers. This is why applied knowledge is power. The more you know, right? G.I. Joe. Did you notice knowledge is power? Did you notice that the term words is an anagram for the term sword? Switch the letter S in the term words to the front and you get the term sword. Words are like swords because they can be used to harm and cut you. In a way, words are more powerful than swords due to the fact that they can harm or heal you at the deepest levels of your being. In the King James Bible verse, John 1:1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." This verse is talking about the force and information of the universe, which can be expressed through words. One very important thing you need to know about the King James Bible and other versions of the Bible is that they are written in allegories, So if you read them literally, you are not acquiring the right information. Another important thing you need to know about the King James Bible is that it was translated to English from the original Greek. And therefore, when it says in the beginning was the Word, it is talking about the source that created the universe. Do you need evidence of this? Read further and I will show you the evidence. The English term word can mean a few different things, but when it is translated to Greek, it means logos. The word logos is defined as the source that controls the universe, the written word or inspiration of God, or a logic and rational argument. In ancient Greek philosophy, the word logos is defined as the controlling principle of the universe. Today, the concept of logos can be found in every religion, such as Christianity. To find the concept of logos in Christianity, all you need to do is read certain verses in the Bible. In the King James Bible, verse John 1:1, it says, in the beginning was the Word. The deeper meaning of the term word is logos, which is the source that controls the universe. In other words, in the beginning was the source. This is the source that created the forces of nature. Another word that you should know is its deeper meaning is universe. The word universe is composed of two words, which are una and verse. The prefix una originated from the Latin word unus, meaning one. As for the word verse, it means a line of poetry. Based on these two definitions, the word universe means one line of poetry. A line of poetry usually has words that have allegorical and metaphorical meanings. To connect the dots, the hidden knowledge or information within the word universe tells us that the universe is an abstract reality field made of poetic and magical words. Words, logos, forces. In other words, we live in a magical and poetic play known as the universe, and therefore the supreme creator is the main author, and we are the co-authors. Quantum physicists have done experiments proving that the universe is indeed an abstract or dreamlike reality field composed of energy forces. Another word that has a strong connection to the term word is the term light. Light is sometimes referred to as photon. In physics, a photon is usually indicated by the symbol, that little squiggly Y, which is the lowercase letter of the Greek symbol, this thing, gamma. Some etymologists believe that the Greek word gamma is where the word grammar originated from. The English grammar means the study of the classes of words, their inflections and their functions and relations to the sentence. Now, see, I was always under the impression that grammar came from the word grimoire, which is a book of spells. So grammar is the art of inventing symbols and combining them to express thought. Logic is the art of thinking, and rhetoric is the art of communicating thought from one mind to another, the adaptation of language to circumstance. The occult definitions of certain words in this section reveal that grammar, or the way words are used, has the potential to direct and control energy. Energy is also light and radiation. In the King James Bible verse, Genesis 1:3, it says, "And God said, let there be light. And there was light." In this verse, the Bible is telling you that God used words, logos, sound to manifest light. Ooh, star in a jar, right? Keep in mind that the word light has a strong connection to the term word and grammar. And in other words, the universe was created from light and word, logos, sound. In Greek, the word logos is defined as the source that controls the universe. The ancient Greek people believed that the powers, in other words, sound, of logos can be expressed through words and be used to create mystical things like sacred geometry. Have you ever wondered why the symbols of corporations are called logos? It has to do with the magic and sacred geometry. The process of using logos, source, energy, force, and sound, to create things such as sacred geometry can be seen in cymatics. And for those of you that don't know, cymatics is like where they put particles on a plate and then vibrate the plate using high frequency sounds. And these sacred geometry shapes with symmetry start to form out of the particles. It's really quite something. seen the experiments done using fire, liquid, sand, and even like real thick cornstarch and water, where it starts making three-dimensional forms that come right up out of the stuff. It's pretty crazy, almost like little creatures growing up out of it or something. Here's a quote from the New King James Bible verse, Hebrews 4:12, that talks about how powerful words are. For the word of God is living and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the division of the soul and spirit and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. By now you should know how powerful words are. What most of us do not know about words is that they have hidden knowledge attached to them. The process of using words to hide certain knowledge was purposely done by the dark forces, groups of demonic thought form entities, to hide their true intentions and prevent us from knowing the secrets of the universe. It is one of their ways of hiding information in plain sight. One of the reasons why dark forces hide information in plain sight is to prevent them from violating our free will. Another tool they like to use to tell you that they are doing to you in plain sight is movie, The Matrix. The Matrix is a great example of this. Many movies have images and words with occult meanings embedded in them to deceive you, to give up your natural rights through silence. By being silent, you choose not to exercise your rights. The good news is that you cannot truly give up your natural rights for the reason that they will always be there, just like the laws of nature. In other words, that's what unalienable means. No lien can be placed on your rights, your natural rights. You can't even give them away, really. You just have them, always. They try. They try. For example, when you watch a movie about human trafficking or wars and do not say something to remove your consent, you unknowingly agree through silence. Therefore, the dark forces did not really violate your free will. This is how the dark forces and the dark magicians can get away with most of their evil deeds. Ignorance is no excuse, and silence implies consent. To be more accurate, being silent is known as implied consent. In the information and computer age, there is no excuse for not knowing these things, especially if you live in a country that has easy access to the internet. Because being silent is a form of consent, you need to be aware of what the dark forces are doing, so you can say no and remove your consent. Ignoring the dark forces is not going to help you remove your consent. If enough of us remove our consent, the dark forces and their minions would have to back off and leave us alone. If they were to not leave us alone and keep harassing us, they would violate our free will and would have to eventually face the consequences for their actions. All thoughts, intentions, and actions are known by the universe, and there is no escaping the consequences of violating its laws. So pretty much it's all being recorded. You're never really alone. There are millions and possibly billions of people on earth who think that they can achieve spiritual freedom or stop the crimes against humanity by ignoring what the dark forces in their new world order are doing. These people are living in a delusional world and are actually making it 10 times easier for the dark forces to enslave humanity. If you want to prevent the dark forces from enslaving humanity, you need to first become aware of what they are doing so you can say no to their actions and agendas and remove your consent. Remember, silence implies consent, and all contracts are voluntary. See, this is why you need, like when you sign things, you need to invoke your rights. You need to establish your rights, because if you don't, it's just implied consent.
Yeah. And they're not going to say, oh, well, you didn't know, so no, we'll void it. They're going to say, well, you signed it and you didn't know that. You're all on you.
Yep. No, ignorance, there's no excuse for it. See, that's how they get away with it. And simultaneously keep us ignorant. So how to decipher words to find their deeper meanings. To find the deeper meanings and intent of words, you need to look beyond their common definitions. Otherwise, you will never know their deeper meanings. To find their deeper meanings, you need to look below their surface, dissect their layers, and look at them closely from many different angles. This means that you may need to use an etymology dictionary to find their origins and rearrange their letters using the art of anagram. Once you find the origins of a word, dissect its layers and look at it from many different angles. The true intent and meanings of the word magically become noticeable inside your mind. So next time you look up a definition of a word, do not only look at it at face value, but also look at its origins, prefix, and suffix. Furthermore, pay attention to other words that sound similar to the word you are investigating. A word that you may want to know its deeper meaning is baptism. When you look at the word baptism carefully and study its definitions to see what other words are related to it, you should eventually come to the conclusion that baptism is a dark magic spell. Oh boy, what do we got going on here? Nobody spoke up for the Jews, and look what happened. What? They just stopped speaking up for them. When someone is baptized, that person is considered to have entered into a covenant with the Lord. When you split the word covenant into two words, you get the term coven and ant. The word coven means an assembly of witches, especially a group of 13. The suffix definition of ant is causing or performing an action or existing in a certain condition. It can also mean serving in the capacity of. In Turkish, the word ant means oath. As for the word Lord, in English, it means a person who has authority, control, or power over others, a master, a chief, or a ruler. Here's one of dictionary.com's suffix definitions of ant. A suffix forming adjectives and nouns from verbs occurring originally in French and Latin, loanwords, pleasant, constant, servant, and produce in English on this matter. Well, yeah, if you look at it, pleasant means someone of a pleasing nature, constant, servant, one who's serving, the ant part of it. And okay. There's a general sense characterized by or serving in the capacity of. So serving in the capacity of serving. Okay. That named by the stem, ascendant, pretendant, especially in the formation of nouns denoting human agents in legal actions or other formal procedures. Tenant, defendant, applicant, contestant, one who's in a contest. Yeah, okay. One who's applying, one who's defending. Okay, all right, that's good. That'd probably help you with the spelling of it too, because I always want to put an ENT on those fucking words. So it says, based on these occult definitions, the deeper meaning of the word baptism is to make an oath or a contract with a coven controlled by witches or lords. In other words, when a person is baptized, that person is serving in the capacity of a coven or is making an oath or a contract with a coven. Which is a group of witches, male or female. The group of witches who control nearly all the churches in the world are the dark magicians. These magicians are the lords that people swear an oath to when they agree to be baptized. The word lord means a person who has authority, control, or power over others. The process of baptism usually promises the body, mind, and soul of a newborn child to the coven of a church, which is controlled by witches, lords, dark magicians from behind the scenes. If you go to church, you may want to really think about that before agreeing to be baptized. Baptism is nothing more than a dark magic spell to trick parents to give up their baby's body, mind, and soul to the dark magicians and their demonic masters. Because you now know the real reason behind baptism, if you are thinking about baptizing your newborn, you may want to do more research on how magic spells work before doing so. Even better, just stay away from all churches because they're all controlled by the dark magicians to some degree, especially Roman Catholic churches. Churches or any religious institutions do not teach you how to achieve spiritual freedom. What they are good at doing is teaching you how to worship an external savior. When you worship an external savior, it disempowers you by weakening your spiritual powers. Furthermore, you are basically telling the Supreme Creator that it did not give you the necessary spiritual powers to empower you to achieve spiritual freedom. This is an insult to the Supreme Creator. Because of these things, religious institutions are great for teaching you how to be a coward and a good little slave. Wow, that's kind of harsh. The Supreme Creator gave you its most precious gifts with no string attached. Some of these gifts are your natural rights and the power of thought, consciousness, love, imagination, creativity, and awareness, which are the same spiritual powers that the Supreme Creator used to create the universe. These spiritual powers have infinite potential, and therefore you also have infinite potential. By worshiping an external savior and relying on a religious institution to save you and not standing up for your natural rights, you are, in a sense, throwing the Supreme Creator's spiritual gifts in the trash, and therefore are disrespecting yourself and at the same time disrespecting the Supreme Creator. In other words, you insult the Supreme Creator every time you worship an external savior. If you were the Supreme Creator, would you want to help a bunch of irresponsible people who keep insulting you? The Savior program is a psychological operation created by the dark forces to enslave your body, mind, and soul and turn you into a cowardly slave to be used as a battery. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can rise above their matrix and free your body, mind, and soul. You already have all the necessary spiritual powers to achieve spiritual freedom. So stop acting and thinking like a cowardly slave and take responsibility for your spiritual growth. And that takes us over to chapter 2. What do you think? Thoughts?
I have none. I'm sitting here learning. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
I know the trickery of word salad or word magic or whatever you want to call it, where, people don't exactly understand some of the things that they say or hear, especially like you were saying in legalese. That's a whole nother thing, but that's how they do it, is through the word.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a lot of people brought this out during the Holocaust, when everybody was freaking out about the fucking COVID, right? This is mandatory. So people started looking up what the word mandatory meant in the Black's Law Dictionary. Now, when normally in a secular world, people say, that's mandatory. It means you absolutely have to do it. That's the way they assume it, right? But the reality of it is, it's just a strongly worded request that is only valid if the person that it's being requested of accepts it. So they say it's mandatory that you have to wear a mask, and you say no. It's over right there.
Yeah.
It's over. A lot of people didn't realize that, what they say is a human is a monstrosity resembling a man. Hue, which is a shade of color, right? And under the color of a man, human, you're man, you're not human. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
I want to see how long is chapter 2 here. Goes from page 18. I think we could get into 2 chapters. Hell, we only been on here less than an hour. I was just going to do a chapter a night and then just kind of do our regular show, but I don't know. This one's kind of long, 22. Yeah, we'll just we'll do part 2. We'll do chapter 2 tomorrow night, and then get into some more of this. I just wanted to give people that introduction, and we're going to be doing this, and I'll label them Word Magic Part 2, Word Magic Part 3, that kind of thing. So we'll do that. It's a pretty good one. Like I said, I put the the link in the chat and in the description for this PDF file if anybody wants to look at it. It's pretty good. I ordered it. I have a hard copy of the book. I got it off of Amazon a while back. And I was amazed when I started getting into some of this stuff. That's like, well, in this chapter 2 here, where he starts getting into this, he starts, yeah, hell, I don't know. Maybe we'll get into this here. Let's take a look real quick. Word magic, the birthing process, and commerce. This is where it starts really getting into it right here. And hell, we can just remember what page we on if we want to get out, right? Yeah. All right. It says, so to know how word magic is used to enslave our body, mind, and soul, you need to know how words are used in the birthing process and commerce. Now, this is something that Ryan talks about. And from what I understand, he's in quartzite right now, isn't he? Isn't he at that convention or that Truthers?
Yeah, they were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah. He's down there. Let's see if there's anything real quick.
I think Dave is there. I think Dave Weiss is there.
Dave Weiss?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Somebody was talking about it yesterday. I think.
Isn't it called the Truth Expo?
Yeah.
International Truth Expo. November. Oh, it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th in Quartzsite. So it's not yet. Today is remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. Good old Guy Fawkes, blow up the whole parliament, huh? Pretty crazy. That would have been a hell of a fucking explosion.
He is there.
Tell you.
Yeah, he's there doing a presentation.
He's there right now?
Andrew Kaufman, Troy Miller.
But see, this thing told me that it's not until the 7th.
Yeah, I'm on the main website, and it has a breakdown of the speaker lineup.
Okay, when's he talk?
Talks. Well, it says a second thing, and then it says 11:15 to 12:15. So he talks for an hour. Then it's Andrew Kaufman, Troy Miller, Amy Holm, Elohim. I'd never heard that before. Karaoke. Aubrey Jenny, Michael Keefe, Jerry. I've never heard of any of these people.
Dave Weiss ain't there?
Yeah, he says he's going to present, so he's going to be a presenter.
Okay. They got a channel.
Here's the link I found.
20 hours ago, they had something they put up on a live.
That's the link.
And then they got a streaming Strange World live 4 weeks ago. All right, where is it at? Hang on, let me check.
It's in private.
Forgot it. Oh,
yeah. Mark Sargent, DJ Curious, Nathan Thompson, Candid Truth, Ace Baker, Dave Weiss, Corey Kell, Joe Henby.
Yeah, it's the club.
Yeah.
It's the club. That's cool. It's like I just didn't want to get involved with those people, man.
I hear you, man.
It's just like, nah. Just do my thing, man. Just do my thing. Because Mark Sargent, he says, yeah, just send me an email. He said, I'll promote your channel and stuff on my show and stuff. And I was like, you got to do that.
Yeah. It's doing fine just on its own.
It's all organic. That's why the view to subscriber ratio is what it is. Not like some of these guys who got 57,000 fucking subscribers and they get like 800 views. And it's like, what? How do you do that shit? Yeah, let's see. So it says, to know how the word magic is used to enslave your body, mind, and soul, you need to know how words are used in the birthing process. We just went through that, right? The dark magicians, to effectively enslave you at the physical and spiritual level, they need to trick you to agree to play the vampiric game called commerce. The best time to trick you to play this vampiric game is on the day of your birth. The words that are used for describing the birthing process are strongly related to commerce. For this reason, you need to know some information about merchants and the sea business, or you will have a hard time seeing the connection between the birthing process and commerce. If you have studied the information in my second seminar, and I haven't, you should have little problem understanding the birthing process and commerce. The PDF file for this seminar is free to download. And I guess that's what this is right here, this link. And if anybody, oh, nope, it's not there. It's gone. Come on, you're going to make, you son of a bitch. Gave me a dead link and now I got to go all the way back down. Hang on. Hopefully he goes into it a little bit more. Before there were airplanes, automobiles, and trains, when people wanted to send products to people in other countries, they would often send them on a ship. Using ships to send goods to other countries became so important that many laws were created to protect merchants and their products. The two laws that dominated the sea business were Admiralty law, the law of the sea, and maritime law, law of the merchant. Both of these laws originally heard cases involving commerce on the high seas. Eventually, these laws spread beyond the high seas and are now used in most court systems throughout the world. Today, nearly every courthouse in the United States of America, Canada, and the United Kingdom, and certain Western and Eastern countries are operating under Admiralty law and maritime law. When countries are operating under Admiralty law and maritime law, it means that their courts are operating under military law and commercial law. And therefore, when people go to court, they are treated as properties and war criminals. This is why when people mention their common law or constitutional rights in Admiralty maritime courts, in other words, the U.S. courts, the judge may tell them to sit down and shut up. There is basically no justice in a court that operates under Admiralty maritime law. Let us turn our attention back to ships and merchants so that I can explain to you now. Oh, you know why that probably didn't go to it? Oh, okay, never mind. When a ship reaches its destination, the captain orders its crew to prepare the ship to be docked. After the ship docks, the crew can start to unload the cargoes and products off the ship. A ship is also a vessel. So after a ship docks onto the shore, it is considered a berthed vessel. The word berthed is phonetically similar to the word birthed with an I. These two words are spelled differently, but they sound very similar. This is one of the ways that word magic is used to deceive you. Before the crew can unload all the cargoes and products off the ship or berthed vessel and onto the dock, they have to first show a certificate of manifest to the dock operator or whoever is in charge of the dock. A certificate is a manifest, or a certificate of manifest is a record that has information about the products. In other words, the registration number, the country of origin, and the manufacturer, etc. The certificate of manifest is basically your birth certificate. On your birth certificate, there is a registration number, country of origin, and manufacturer. Metaphorically speaking, the manufacturers that created you, the product, are your parents. The process of using ships to deliver products is where the word shipping comes from. Did you notice that the word shipping has the word ship in it? No, we didn't see that. Another word that has the word ship is in it is citizenship. When you split the word citizenship into two words, it transforms into the word citizen and ship, meaning a citizen of a ship. A citizen of a ship means that you are under the jurisdiction of Admiralty law and maritime law. These two laws are not common laws or constitutional laws. Instead, they are commercial laws. When a ship is in the process of being docked, it is being guided to come to berth. The word berth is defined as a space for a vessel to dock or anchor. Based on this information, when a product is unloaded onto the dock, it has just went through the berthing process, which is the process of delivering the product from the vessel or ship onto the dock. Wow. Phonetically, the word birth sounds like the word birth. This is why, when the woman is in the process of giving birth, she is said to be delivering the baby. The birthing process of a baby is related to the process of delivering a product on a ship. Every woman has a body. Another word for body is vessel. A vessel can also be called a ship. The words body, vessel, and ship can all mean the same thing and be used to represent a woman's body. This is why a ship is often referred to as she, and the main ship is often called the mother ship. Oh, wow. This is tight, man. To connect the dots, the process of a woman giving birth can also be defined as the process of delivering or birthing a product of a ship. Metaphorically speaking, the product is the baby and the ship is the woman's body. When you compare all the information that you just read about commerce in the sea business to the process of birthing a baby, you will see a strong connection between the birthing process of a ship and the birthing process of a baby. By spelling the words birth and birth slightly different and making them sound almost the same, the dark forces and their minions, dark magicians, can trick you to agree to be a product of a ship so that they can have jurisdiction over you. They know that they cannot have jurisdiction over the real you, the living, breathing person made of flesh and blood, which is why they need you to consent to be an artificial person so that they can treat you like a product and make money by selling you on the stock market. When you were in your mother's womb, you were surrounded in amniotic fluid, which was made of mostly water. In other words, you were living in a sea of water. Because you were living in water, according to Admiralty law, the law of the sea, you could be ruled under this law. Admiralty law is also known as the law of money. What is another word for money? Currency. Phonetically, the word currency sounds similar to the word current sea, hence the law known as the law of the sea, Admiralty law. While living in your mother's womb, the thing that connects you to your mother is the umbilical cord, which is connected to your navel. Metaphorically speaking, you are connected to the mothership. The word umbilical is derived from the medieval Latin word umbilicalis, meaning of the navel, which of course is going to go right to Navy. The word navel sounds similar to the word Navy.
It's the rope.
Yeah. The Navy is the military of the sea. They did not name that area of your body the navel by accident. By now, you should start to see how all these words are somehow directly or indirectly related to the sea. One very important thing you need to know about the word sea is that it has a strong connection to the word energy. By the end of the chapter 5, you will know why these two words are strongly related, which we're probably not going to get all the way to chapter 5 tonight. I can guarantee you that. But wow, so far it's starting to feel like an evergreen shipping container. Unload me. Got the longshoreman trying to get on me. Right?
Yeah, pull that line.
Oh my God. Bong hit. Must do bong hit. All right. Now we're talking. All right. Let's see. On average, a fetus lives in the womb of its mother for a little more than 9 months before the fetus is ready to be birthed. When you were a fetus, you were living in water, amniotic fluid. Shortly after 9 months, you were born from your mother's body, vessel, ship, through her birth canal. The phrase birth canal sounds very similar to the phrase birth canal with an E. A canal is an artificial waterway that is used by the captain of a ship or boat to berth his vessel. Hence the phrase birth canal. When you were born in the hospital, you had to travel through your mother's birth canal. After you came out of your mother's birth canal, you were grabbed by a doctor. The word doctor is pronounced similar to doctor. The word dock is defined as a platform extending from a shore over water used to secure, protect, and provide access to a boat or ship. As for the word ore, it is defined as a metal-bearing mineral or rock, or a native metal that can be mined at a profit. The word ore also sounds similar to the word oar, O-A-R, which is a long shaft with a broad blade at one end used as a lever for rowing or otherwise propelling or steering a boat. What you need to know about these two words is that they all somehow indirectly or directly relate to a ship, the sea, and the process of giving birth. Another word you should know its deeper meaning is hospital. One of the origins of the word hospital is the old French word hospital, meaning hostel, shelter, lodging. In English, the word hostel sounds almost exactly like the word hostile. The word hostile means not friendly, warm, or genuine, not hospitable. A hospital is not a friendly place to give birth to a baby because the hidden role of the doctor, doc-or, is to deliver the baby and turn the baby into a product of a ship vessel to be sold in commerce using the birth certificate as a certificate of manifest. The birth certificate becomes a valid certificate after the parents and the doctor or doc-or sign it. Once the birth certificate is signed by all the parties, the information on it becomes a fact. This certificate is actually a birth certificate of a ship, also known as a certificate of manifest. In other words, shortly after you were born, your parents unknowingly agreed to turn you into a product of a ship. Have you ever wondered why newborn babies are kept in a maternity ward? The reason why they are kept in a maternity ward is because their parents have signed their natural rights away to the state, and therefore they have become products and prisoners of a ship. A ward is defined as a section of a prison. In prison, wards are used for caging prisoners. They are also known as prison cells. Why the word cell? Because prisoners are being used as batteries. The word cell is defined as a device that generates electrical energy from chemical energy, usually consisting of two different conducting substances placed in an electrolyte. To connect the dots, babies are put in a maternity ward to prepare them to become human batteries. Prisoners are caged in prison cells for the same reason. By the end of this book, you will know exactly what I mean when I say humans are being used as batteries. Neo said that too, you know. Another thing you should know about the word hospital is that it has a strong connection to the secret society called the Knights of Hospitallers, which is one of the factions of the Knights Templar, the private army for the Vatican. One of the symbols for the Knights Templar is the Red Cross. The Red Cross symbol can be found on the flag of the United Kingdom and inside of British hospitals. The organization called the American Red Cross, the British Red Cross, and the International Committee of the Red Cross also uses the same symbol. All secret societies have symbols that they use to communicate. They operate somewhat like street gangs, but are much more organized and powerful. Like street gangs, secret societies like to mark their territories with signs and symbols to let certain people know that they own these properties or territories. But unlike street gangs that only control a few blocks or a small town, secret societies control countries. All the Red Cross organizations are controlled by the Knights Templar. The United Kingdom is controlled by them too. Be aware that not every member of a secret society is a control addict. Furthermore, some secret societies do not support the enslavement of humanity. Let us turn our attention back to the word doctor or doc-or. By now, you should know that the hidden role of the doctor is to deliver the baby and turn the baby into a product of a ship or vessel to be sold in commerce using the birth certificate as a certificate of manifest. Metaphorically speaking, the word or in the word doctor or doc-or is you, the baby. You represent the ore because you are the battery that is being used for energy to power the matrix of the dark forces. So when you are delivered from the body onto the dock, you, the ore, was delivered and put onto the dock, hence the word doctor. This is why the person who delivers babies in hospitals is called a doctor. The dock role is to deliver the baby or dock the ore onto the shore so that it can be sold and used as energy. The word ore also sounds similar to the first syllable of the word aura. Aura is an energy field that is part of the bioelectromagnetic field of a human being. When you split the word aura into two words, you get the term aura. Aura. The word awe originated from the Latin word aurum, meaning gold. That's why they use AU for symbol for gold. The word Ra is the name of the ancient god called Ra, pronounced Re. The Egyptian mythology, Re was the sun god that was often shown as a hawk. When you put the words sun and Ra together, you get the word Sun-Ra, Sun-Ray, which is connected to the sun god Ra. Every ship or body ship is brought into port and docked so that the doctor can deliver the body ship because it is a new liver being produced or a new baby being delivered by the doctor as docked ore, the ore that is now docked and ready to be sold and used as energy.
Livery,
yes. Holy crap. The dark forces view each of us like an ore because we are the ore that is being mined for gold through the process of mind control. The word mind sounds almost the same as the word mind, M-I-N-E-D, giving us a clue as to why the Anunnaki came here to Earth. Yeah, right. One of the main reasons why they came to Earth was not to mine for gold, but to mine for the gold in our minds, because to control our minds is to control the golden blood plasma in our bodies and the golden energy in our auras, which then can be used to extend their lifespan or charge their sun god Ra, hence the word aura. In Greek mythology, the golden blood plasma is called ichor, a gold-colored fluid believed to be found in the blood of the alien gods, allowing them to live for thousands of years. It is my understanding that this golden blood plasma is found in very small amounts in the human body. However, during an ascension cycle, the human body can produce more of it. They used to eat monatomic gold too. The priests and the pharaohs in
eat
Egypt.
the gold?
Well, monatomic gold. They take away the gluons. And you start looking into that, and it's really it's crazy, man. They can never get an accurate weight because sometimes it weighs a whole bunch, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it can just change. They took some and they put it in a dish and heated it up with a blowtorch, and it just fucking disappeared. And they put a stick down there and stir around, see if there was anything left of it. Nothing. A couple minutes later, they came back and it reappeared undisturbed, where they had run that stick back and forth. Just
funky.
Like went into another dimension or something. Pretty weird shit, man. Anyway, where was I? Certain spiritual teachers believe that the special element that gives golden blood plasma its longevity properties is organic monatomic gold. That's what I was talking about. Also known as organic white powder gold. Organic monatomic gold can only be created by our bodies and nature. It is not the same as the synthetic monatomic gold that is being sold as a dietary supplement. By now, you should start to have a basic understanding of what the dark forces are doing to the human race. This evil agenda to enslave the human race and use human beings as batteries is what I like to refer to as the Earth Matrix drama. It is essential for you to know that at the deepest level of the Earth Matrix drama is a spiritual drama for your soul and energy. So you better start paying attention. By the end of chapter 5, you will know why the dark forces need to feed on the energy of humanity to survive. And I see that because we're watching the physical drama take place And we've already dissected that this is a big fucking show. But the way that everybody reacts to it too, that's the energy. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, it's energy farming, basically what they're doing. It's to put people in a negative state
Yeah.
so they can take the energy from you.
Mm-hmm.
I've had experiences with some people when you're around them, they kind of drain you
They
badly.
drain you. Psychic vampires.
Yeah, it just pulls away from you. You just don't want to be around them.
Mm-hmm.
In situations where you have to be, it's really hard. It's
Yes.
not easy.
Yes.
And it's not just a preference thing. I'm telling you, it's a genuine like negative energy thing. It just changes how you would normally do things.
There you go. David Koresh calls them energy vampires.
Yeah,
I've heard
right on the money.
I've heard that term used too.
Yeah, right on the money.
Yeah, man. It says, let us turn our attention back to the birthing process so that I can teach you how the dark forces are using the birth certificate contract to enslave your soul and your body. In the USA, shortly after you are born, a certificate of manifest is created with certain personal information about you written on it. This manifest is known as your certificate of live birth, which is not the same as your birth certificate. Shortly after your parents signed your certificate of live birth, the certificate was sent to the U.S. government. After the U.S. government registered it and finished doing whatever they needed to your certificate of live birth, they sent you a new version of your certificate of live birth, which is known as your birth certificate. Your new birth certificate is not the original certificate of live birth because it is actually a death certificate. What? The term birth certificate sounds similar to the term birth certificate. This was deliberately done to trick you using the art of phonics, which is a method of teaching, reading, and spelling based upon the phonetic interpretation of ordinary spelling. Phonetically, there is almost no difference between the terms birth certificate and birth certificate with an E because they sound nearly identical. When the U.S. government created your birth certificate, their intention was to trick your parents to sign your natural rights away and turn you into a product of a ship or vessel to be sold in commerce. Therefore, a birth certificate is a certificate of manifest for a product birthed from a ship. When the U.S. government sent your parents your birth certificate, what they were really doing was informing your parents that you are now a registered product of the United States, Incorporated. This is why they trade your birth certificate on the stock market. Have you ever wondered why they like to use the word parents to describe your mother and father? The word parents sounds similar to the words pair and rent, which means that the pair that rents. When your parents or pairs that rent signed your birth certificate, they unknowingly agreed to allow the U.S. government to partially own you and make you a product of the United States Incorporated. What this means is that your body and everything you buy or produce using the name on your birth certificate is legally the property of the United States government. However, your parents are allowed to keep or rent you as long as they pay taxes and take decent care of the new product, which is you. The name on your birth certificate is a legal name, and therefore it represents an artificial person that only exists on paper. In other words, it is a name of a dead thing. This legal name is often written in all capital letters and is not the name given to you by your parents. Instead, it is a forgery name created by the government to trick you to do business with its agencies. To be more specific, your real name is an appellation. Only things have names. Furthermore, living and breathing people have autographs, not signatures. A signature is used by a corporate officer to do business with a corporation because your birth certificate is marked with a legal name. It is a certificate that represents the birth of a dead thing, and therefore it is called a death certificate. The legal name is sometimes referred to as the straw man. This is what the lawyers, bankers, and politicians have used to enslave you. It is a crime known as personage. By arbitrarily creating an estate trust named after you and claiming to own this thing they created, They have falsely claimed to own you and your assets and to literally buy and sell you on stock exchanges, ship you out of ports, and tax you for doing things you've never done. After all, there is no law against enslaving an estate trust, is there? Or arresting a slave, or charging a tax on importing revenue to Puerto Rico. Because your birth certificate has a forgery name and does not come with full disclosure, it is a fraudulent contract. There is no statute of limitation for fraud, and fraud vitiates all contracts. What's that mean? Vitiate. I've never used that word before. Linked to that fraud. Even though your birth certificate is a fraudulent contract, proving this fraud in court is not easy. One of the best solutions for freeing your soul and body from the birth certificate, and which is actually a death certificate, is to remove false presumptions made by the government. A great website that teaches you how to do this is privatus.me. And I'm not going to click that. Well, let's see if it goes anywhere. This domain has been registered with Namecheap. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't take you into nothing. Okay. Well, if you have studied my second seminar in natural law, I wonder if that goes anywhere. Nope. You should know that when the U.S. government refers to the United States of America, most of the time they are talking about the corporation called the United States, Inc., or the United States of America, minor. Nearly 99% of the time, the U.S. government writes the name United States in all capital letters, and nearly 100% of the time, they write it without the Inc., so that they can trick you to agree to be an employee of the United States, Inc. As for the name of the actual country, landmass, it is legally called the continental United States or the United States of America. In legalese, the United States is not the name of the country known as the continental United States. Knowing this fact is very essential for comprehending the fraud of the legal system and how the British monarchy and the New World Order have successfully enslaved the American people without their knowledge. The United States, Inc., also doing business as the United States of America, Inc., is actually a foreign corporation that resides in Washington, D.C., which is also a foreign corporation. Why do you think the United States has a president and vice president? Corporate law requires a corporation such as the United States to have a president and a vice president. It is right in your face and hidden in plain sight. The acronym DC stands for the District of Columbia, which is a 10-mile radius district. This district houses the United States, Inc. So when the U.S. government talks about the United States, Inc., they're referring to a corporation located in the District of Columbia, a foreign district. In other words, they are not really talking about the country. Washington, D.C. is a foreign district for the reason that it is not part of the continental United States, the landmass, and just like Vatican City is not part of Italy. Washington, D.C., or the District of Columbia, was founded by a powerful Masonic secret society called the Columbians, hence the name District of Columbia. The Columbians also founded Columbia Broadcasting System, or CBS, Columbia Pictures, and Columbia University. Did you notice how similar the words Columbians and Columbia are? One thing you should know about Columbia University is that it is located in New York, a state founded by the York Rite, which is also another powerful Masonic secret society. This is why it is called New York, which means the new state of the York Rite. You are starting to see how words are used to deceive you. Wow, I didn't know that. So it's the new state of the York Rite. That's crazy. Because you now know that there are two main versions of the United States of America, and that the corporate version is one of the U.S. government likes to use the most. Let us dig deeper into the birthing process so you can learn how the dark forces and their minions apply wordplay and word magic to trick you to temporarily give up your natural rights. Before the invention of computers, when babies were born, hospitals would publish their birth information in the newspaper. Nowadays, because of computers, the internet, and certain laws, hospitals rarely publish birth information in the newspaper. Instead, birth information is sent to the government, and then they publish it on certain government-sponsored websites. Some examples of these websites are vital records websites. In the USA, shortly after a baby is born, the doctor extracts blood from the bottom of the baby's foot. This process is sometimes called the heel stick test. The bottom of the foot is known as the sole of the foot. Keep in mind that the word sole sounds very similar to the word soul, S-O-U-L. Most doctors do not know the real reason behind this procedure. So if your parents ask them why they do this, they will most likely tell your parents that they extract your blood to test it for genetic conditions and diseases. Besides extracting your blood, they also take tissue samples and blood from your mother's placenta. The purpose of taking your blood is to extract your DNA from it. Shortly after extracting blood from the sole of your foot, the blood is sent to the government so that they can sequence your DNA to determine your genetic blueprint. Your genetic blueprint is like your fingerprint, and because no one else has that same genetic blueprint, because of this, your DNA is the physical proof of evidence that the government can use to identify you. Shortly after the government is done sequencing your DNA and creating your personal file, they publish your birth information on some of the websites that they sponsored. What they are basically doing is telling the public that they found parts of you and someone needs to claim them. It is like a lost and found service. If no one claims them after a certain amount of time, usually 7 years, the government has the legal right to pronounce you as legally dead. The problem with this process is that the government did not tell your parents that they need to claim those parts of you, and therefore the government is basically committing fraud. Fraud vitiates everything. But does the government really care about that? Not really, for the reason that they make millions of dollars off you from this fraud. And that fucking nuts. I didn't know that. You got to claim that shit back or else they declare you dead.
Well, then they could get a tax. There's a death tax.
These fucking people are like ghouls, man. They're total ghouls.
Imagine that. They taxed you all your life and now you're dead. And they're like, oh, you got to pay a tax.
What does it say? It says, be aware that when the government announces you as being legally dead, it does not always mean that you, the living human being, are dead. In the legal system, you can be alive and still be named legally dead. Being legally dead means that your fictional character is dead. In other words, your legal name. Ah, okay. The legal system operates in a jurisdiction that deals with fictional things. This is why the laws of the legal system are called acts and statutes, just like the acts and statutes in a play. Acts and statutes in a play. Because of this, nearly everything it does is unlawful. After reading this book, you will know why the legal system is a big fat fraud. Under admiralty law, if you are missing for 7 years, you can be declared legally dead. This is why people lost at sea are declared legally dead after 7 years. In the USA, our political and court systems are operating under admiralty and maritime law. Both of these laws deal with commerce of the sea. To connect the dots, when the government announces you as being legally dead, what they are really saying is that you are dead at sea. They say this because you are mostly made of water and you were born from a sack of water, the amniotic sac. Because you are legally dead and the government owns your legal name, the government can legally claim your estate. This process is similar to when people die and their estates are transferred to the people listed on their wills. This is why the government can legally seize your property and children when you violate their acts and statutes. However, if you rebut their presumption and let them know that you are not dead, it makes it much harder for the government to confiscate your properties. When you send a letter to the government to let them know that you are not dead at sea but are alive and well, You are correcting your status and removing yourself from their jurisdiction, which is an imaginary territory that operates in a dead fictional world. After you correct your status, the government now has to acknowledge you as a living man, male or female, instead of a dead person or legal person. A dead person, also known as a legal person or legal fiction, has no natural rights, only privileges. An example of a legal person or a legal fiction is a United States citizen. Because United States citizens are legal persons with only privileges according to the legal system and have no natural rights. This is why when you go to court and shout out to the judge about your natural rights or constitutional rights, the judge will look at you like you are a fool and may tell you to sit down and shut up. Because the legal person, in other words, a United States citizen, legal name, and corporation, is a dead thing, the government has jurisdiction over it. On the other hand, the human being is a living, breathing man and therefore has natural rights, which are unalienable rights given inherently to the man by the Supreme Creator. The word unalienable means incapable of being alienated. That is sold and transferred. In other words, your natural rights are superior to all laws made by the government and cannot be sold, and therefore the government does not have jurisdiction over you, the living man, male or female. Why the word government means to rule the mind. It's governo mentis, right? This is some interesting shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
I know some of these.
Yeah,
I heard from years ago, the old Title IV people back in the day. I know that yeah, it's word magic. It's all word magic. It's
yeah, it's everything is. You just and you can use the English language, which is really deceptive. Like people assume that they'll assume shit based on what you say. Like if I say, I've never killed anybody that didn't deserve it. People will automatically think that I've killed people, right? But I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But they'll assume that.
Assuming, yes. Assumptions.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, a lot of people work by assumption. You really do. That's how we got Globers, you see. All right. So it says, if you did not skip any chapters in this book by now, you should have seen the word government dozens of times. The word government will be used many more times in this book, so it would be wise for you to know the deeper meanings of this word. The common and overt definition of the word government is the form or system of rule by which a state, community, etc. is governed. Here is one of the legal definitions of the word government. The system of polity in a state. That form of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or state is governed, or by which individual members of a body politicare are to regulate their social actions. A constitution, either written or unwritten, by which the rights and duties of citizens and public officers are prescribed and defined as a monarchical government. Whatever the fuck that means. A Republican government, etc. Okay. Oh, excuse me, folks. Well, the word government originated from the old French word gouvernement, meaning control, direction, administration. To find the occult definitions of the word government, you need to split it into two words, transforming the word government into government. One of the origins of the word govern is a Latin word gubernare, which translates to English as to direct, rule, guide, or govern. The suffix ment has a few different origins. One of them comes from the Latin word ment, meaning of the mind. Based on the occult definitions of the previous paragraph, the word government means to rule the mind or govern the mind. Throughout history, governments throughout the world have always used mind control techniques such as subliminal messages and propaganda to condition us how to think. The purpose of this is to control how we think so that we can rule our minds. One of the most popular and effective mind control techniques that the government likes to use to rule our minds is mnemonics. The adjective definition of the word mnemonic is assisting or intended to assist the memory. As for the noun definition, mnemonic means something intended to assist the memory as a verse or formula. The word mnemonic originated from the Greek word mnemonikos, meaning of or pertaining to memory. Based on these definitions, mnemonics is something that affects the memory. Mnemonic is used in many different media, such as video games, TV commercials, cell phone apps, computers, and movies. The techniques used in mnemonics can be used for good or for evil purposes. Unfortunately, most mnemonics of today are used to program our minds in negative ways and control how we think to a large degree. One of the most popular media outlets used for broadcasting mnemonics in television, a medium used for casting magic spells. Have you ever wondered why TV shows are sometimes called TV programs? They are called TV programs because they are using them to program your mind with mnemonics and subliminal messages. They did not call them TV programs for no reason. Mnemonics are effective for manipulating your mind because they utilize sacred geometry, sigil, sound, and light to create magic effects to control your thought patterns. Because of their effectiveness, many corporations are replacing conventional subliminal messages with mnemonics in their advertising campaigns. One very important thing you need to know about the government is that it is a corporation. According to Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, a corporation is an artificial person. Because the government is a corporation, an artificial person, it is a fictitious entity that has no natural rights and powers. Its main source of power comes from feeding on the energy of the people. Because the government needs the people's energy to have power, it has no power within the support of the people. Without the support of the people. That's what I've said. And all we have to do is just stop. Unfortunately, most people have been brainwashed to think that the government has power over them. Whenever the government becomes tyrannical, all we need to do is remove our support and it will collapse on its own. As we're seeing with this last wave of election. These people are so sick of this fucking Israel bullshit that they just went blue everywhere, man. Even here in Virginia. Pretty bad. This is how we can stop tyrannical governments without violent revolutions. The Great Stop. That's what I call it. Another misconception most of us have about the government is the idea that the agents of the government have authority over us. Remember, the main source of power for the government is the energy of the people. Without us, the government has no real power, and therefore its agents also has no authority to tell us what to do. One of the groups that makes up the government is the police force. The government agents that make up the police force are sometimes called cops. Today, cops are not really here to protect and serve the people. Instead, they exist for the main purpose of serving and protecting the dark magicians and their minions. The dark magicians often consider cops to be the lowest pawns of their government. The word cop is derived from the Latin word capere, which means to take. Some etymologists believe it originated from the Middle French word caper, meaning seize or to take. As a noun, dictionary.com defines the word cop as a police officer or a person who seeks to regulate a specific behavior, activity, practice, etc. As a verb, it defines cop as to catch or nab, or to steal or filch, or to buy, like in narcotics. Get cop a bag or some shit, right? To comprehend why the word cop is used to describe the lowest pawns of the government, you need to find the hidden meaning of the word cop. Furthermore, you need to know the difference between the words lawful and legal. I will go into more details about the difference between these two words in the next chapter. For now, the important thing you need to know about the words lawful and legal is that lawful is more about natural rights, God-given rights, and legal is more about the rights given to you by man or by the government. Because the word lawful deals with natural rights, anything that is lawful is above anything that is legal. For example, when the cops pull you over for speeding and give you a speeding ticket, they're operating under legal status and not lawful status. In other words, they are unlawfully giving you a ticket. That's an important difference to know, too. The reason why it is unlawful for cops to give you a speeding ticket is because it violates your natural right to travel. However, if you have a driver's license and or your vehicle is registered with the government, cops can pull you over for speeding without having to worry too much about violating your natural rights. Your driver's license or license plate is evidence that you have a contract with the government, and therefore it puts you under the jurisdiction of the government and its agents. Your right to travel is protected by natural law, a body of spiritual laws. It is a natural right given inherently to you by the Supreme Creator. Because of this, no human being, government agent, or government agency can tell you to stop traveling or how to travel without your consent. If they were to force you to stop traveling without your consent, they would be in direct violation of the natural law. To overcome the problems of violating your natural rights to travel, the dark magicians invented the driver's license, which is a contract designed to trick you to give them your consent. When you sign your name on the driver's license contract, you agree to allow the government and its agents to have jurisdiction over you when you are driving a vehicle. This is why cops are trained to always ask you for your driver's license. Once you give them your driver's license, they have the legal right to give you a ticket, unless you did not violate any traffic laws. And they have laws in quotes. Once you know cops are in violation of your natural rights whenever they force you to do anything without your consent, you should know that the hidden meaning of the word cop is a government agent whose main role is to catch people and steal their money using unlawful citations. The more citations cops give out, the more money their employer, the government, can collect. Do you remember what I said earlier about the definition of the word cop? As a verb, the word cop is defined as to catch or to nab, or to steal or filch, or to buy narcotics. This definition of the word cop describes pretty accurate what many cops are doing to us these days. The process of using unlawful citations to steal our money is only practiced by cops. Many government agents, in other words, IRS agents, whether they realize it or not, are also using unlawful citations to steal our money to finance the system of the New World Order. By now, you should be aware that the government is an artificial person. For this reason, the government cannot directly deal with a living man. To overcome this problem, the people in control of the government, which are the dark magicians of the New World Order, created another artificial person. This artificial person is known as the legal name, which is the name on your birth certificate, driver's license, etc. To rule our minds and control us, the dark magicians use their government to trick us to consent to play the legal name game. By participating in the legal name game, we unknowingly agree to be a corporation, an artificial person. This allows the government to do business with us and have jurisdiction over us. Furthermore, the legal name game makes it easy for the government to enslave us in the matrix of the dark forces. Do you comprehend now why the word government means to rule the mind? There is a spiritual side to the earth matrix drama. So if you do not know who you really are in your natural rights and how the universe works, you will have a very hard time freeing yourself from the matrix of the dark forces. Another essential thing you need to know is the power of natural law. One of the most important natural law is the law of free will. And that takes us up to chapter 3. We'll catch that one in the next show, I think.
Yeah, I know about the I went to a thing once for a guy up here who explained the license and explained that you're in commerce when you're the terminology for
driving is a commercial term.
Traveling, and there was a difference between the words.
Yeah.
The other thing was the you're admitting that you're in commerce. meaning that you're being paid to drive.
Right.
And, meaning you're a livery driver is a person that's in commerce. His job is to drive, deliver goods. Truck driver is in commerce.
Uber.
But you
taxi.
driving to your sister's house,
Nope.
you going to see your cousin after his crotch operation, you're not being paid to do that.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
traveling.
So that's not, yes, that's traveling. And the same thing with the terminology of what the car actually is. Is it an automobile? Is it the terminologies mean a lot. That's the trickery to it. But, just go and pull your plates off and go and drive to the store and and you'll figure it out real quick when they put you in the process. The process is the punishment of you not wanting to participate.
Right.
It's a lot of bullshit trickery shit. That's annoying.
Yeah,
they're just doing it because they can do it. Because they're imbued these powers.
Oh, I'm finding some weird shit here. Something about a TPUSA insider. Israel executed Charlie Kirk before he could expose Erica's child trafficking network.
Well, she did get kicked out of the country and her company, and they just don't do that because they don't like you.
Hey, and that other guy that's he was involved with another country's fucking thing too. Oh, there's my wife. My wife's in New York.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know what she's doing here.
New York or what? New York State, New York City?
Oh, wait. Hang on. I have to answer. She knows I do my show at this time.
That's all right.
She's got to her destination and she's like, "Oh, you don't even care that I got there and shit." Well, no, it's like I do, but
I threw a video in the private chat if you want to throw that up while you're yapping.
All right. I got it. What's this here? Oh, hey, Ryan sent something too here. What is this? Come on.
It's in French, but it has English subtitles on the screen. It's just a like an FE kind of mishmash combo thing video I found on BitChute. It's really good. New channel.
Hang on, check this out. Want to get paid to be a dick? Do you have a desire for unquestioningly following orders? Experience beating up and killing homeless? A passion for anal cavity searches? A self-entitled sense of authority? A huge ego and low intelligence? Experience parking in red zones? Poor communication skills? Drive like an asshole? Itchy trigger finger? Bully tendencies? A small penis? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are hired. Please call 1-800-douchebag.
There you go.
I like it. Well, let me do something here. Yeah, put that one in the old meme collection. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, the meme war of 2018. I've seen some things, man.
Oh yeah, man, I've seen some things and some stuff.
It was hell. I'll never forget it.
This will give me time to pee too.
Yeah.
All right. Are we there? Stop. Fucker. You fucker. There we go.
Awesome.
Wow, look at that. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty
It's a
amazing.
good little collaboration of all the observance of all these things. I found that today. It was a new channel, so he had a bunch of stuff up. But I think they're French or Canadian, or I don't know. It does have a English subtitling in the middle when you look.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's confusing because I saw it and I was like, "Oh, this is in French," and I didn't realize that it's a small print. It's like, yeah.
Quickly go and learn French so you can watch the video.
Oui.
Oui, poo poo.
Yeah, I just chucked that up there. I thought it was a pretty good one.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on around here.
Oh, any update on the plane thing? That was funny, man. I told somebody about that. I said he went, "Oh wow," and I said, "Oh, what, the plane thing?" He was like, "How did you do that?"
I haven't seen any more about that UPS plane crash. Well, that thing tore up a lot of shit, didn't it?
Oh, it tumbled and rolled for a while and then slid through a bunch of stuff too. It sliced through a building. One of the wings went down and literally sliced it like a can opener. You know, those steel buildings, those steel buildings that have like the corrugated steel, it just sliced right through that thing like a can. It's like, wow. Something
I know, man.
Kind of mechanical.
Ripped it apart, man. Totally ripped it apart. I didn't have anything. I haven't looked at nothing online all day. We was finished that plywood on that carport. We got all the major shit done now. We're just putting on returns and we'll be done with it tomorrow.
Yeah, nice.
I hope. Poor old guy Ed. This guy, he naps a lot, boy. That's why we didn't know. He went in and took a nap yesterday, and we got about halfway done putting the ceiling in, and he hadn't heard whether he wanted to cut holes to put lights in or not. And so we're knocking on the door trying to get a hold of him, and it's like, well, I don't know. He's not answering. We'll have to find out later. So we had to quit. And today he was like, oh no, he says, hell, banging on the door. I've been in there taking naps while y'all beating on the side of the house, and I sleep right through it, I'm like, well, that explains a lot then. But I'm kind of worried because he's an old guy, man. He's a pretty old guy. He's like 80 something. I was worried maybe he, went in there for his last nap. I didn't, you don't want to think.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that happening. You're like, oh boy, here we go.
Oh, he's a nice guy too.
We're supposed to be getting crazy winds up here. They got wind warnings and stuff for tomorrow. So I don't know if the net's going to be up.
Man, the wind was fucking crazy today. I pick up a piece of plywood and all of a sudden, that wind got to fucking calm down or something here today. That's all. That should make you pull you right across the ground, man.
Yeah, they have a wind advisory for parts of the state. It's going to snow up north, so up in the mountain region. White Mountain region, that's good for business though. That means people are going to show up and want to go skiing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, here's the thing. Says this is crazy about that. Just Jared Kushner, man. He's just doesn't even look like a real person to me. Does he look like? Yeah. Look at this fucking guy.
He's an odd-looking dude.
He's weird, man.
We're just getting started.
Things just work out when he is involved, which is why he is now back into the picture. Kushner, the man who years ago brokered the Abraham Accords, bringing together the Abrahamic faiths through economic empowerment. Kushner, the man who made history with the purchase of one of the most expensive properties to be used at his main office, the 666 building. Kushner, the man who made it possible for the U.S. Embassy to be set up in Jerusalem exactly 70 years after Israel became a nation. This is Kushner we're talking about. The man who just recently started his own billion-dollar artificial intelligence firm after making a groundbreaking purchase with Electronic Arts. This is Kushner, the man who by coincidence knew Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu since he was a child.
Oh, so he knew him when he knew him when he was Polish?
Yeah, right.
Can I reveal, Jared, how long we've known you? Can I reveal, Jared, how long we've known you? Well, he was never small. He was always big. He was always tall. But
Jared Kushner? Well, let's
Yeah,
just
another
say
insider.
He is someone to keep your eyes on.
Well, Leslie, we
I'm so sick of these fucking people.
Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast.
Oh, yeah.
For it is the number of a man. That number is 6, 6, 6.
How are you?
Thanks for having
me. This is an opportunity to pursue our common goals of security, prosperity, and peace. And Jared, I welcome you here in that spirit. I know of your efforts, the President's efforts. I look forward to working with you to achieve these common goals.
Thank you. The President sends his best regards, and it's an honor to be here with you.
Well, we just had a historic trip. The President was greeted here with fantastic warmth. He made an indelible impression on the people of Israel, and it's good to see you again. Please send him our warmest regards.
I definitely will.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's very Zuckerbergish.
Yeah, they're all Steins or Steens. Or,
There might be all animatrons, man. You know, that's what I mean.
Those people do nothing but destroy places, destroy societies.
Yep.
That's all they do.
Dark
Everything they
forces.
touch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was pretty based. Man, somebody's gonna try to take this broad out, man. I'm pretty sure.
You're going to infiltrate and convince us that this is the same party while we get gaslit about everything that's happening. Like I said, you lost the party. MAGA got fractured, not when Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes, but when Donald Trump looked at us in our faces and said, Epstein who? That's when it was game over. Because Israel first is a cancer
She's
cell.
doing sixes
It is
in
a
her hands,
cancer
you know.
cell,
Yeah.
left or right,
Yeah.
to everything and everyone
Sixes.
that wants to play around with it. It is a radical psychosis that has manifested itself within both parties. And it is so radical that, in case you missed it, yesterday, they started attacking Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper, 23-year-old, bubbly Brett Cooper. She makes the majority of her videos dedicated to pop culture. Yes, she covers things that are, I would say, mainstream politics, nothing too daring, never speaks about Israel. And she did her part, by the way. Zionists wanted her to do her part and encourage New Yorkers to get out and vote against Mamdani. But it's not enough, of course, because this is a radical ideology. You give them 100%. You even say one critique, and they don't want to break bread with you. They want to destroy you, and that's what they want to do to Brett Cooper.
They have been going after Brett Cooper. She's a Daily Wire person too.
Yep.
But anybody that doesn't just go along with that fucking bullshit, oh, you're anti-Semite. I loved it, man. I saw a thing of Shapiro losing his shit today because of Fuentes, and Fuentes said, "Well, just go ahead and debate me. Go ahead and have a debate with me." He's like, "Oh, he won't do it because he knows he'll get destroyed." It also pissing him off that people like Fuentes and who's that other guy? We showed a bunch of his clips on here.
Stu Peters.
Oh, Stu Peters is another one, but that guy Mata, is that his last name?
I don't know.
He's got the beard. Man, they're smoking him in the view department. You know what I mean? As far as how many engagement they're getting, man.
Oh yeah,
their shit's waning off. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody gives a fuck nothing.
All this shit's waning off. All this shit is.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you think about it, a lot of people are like, all right, we've heard enough of this shit. You know, people are starting to get kind I mean, even look at Cenk and Anna's content. Their stuff has gone completely 360.
Yes. Yes.
Like totally up. Didn't Cenk the other day or a few days ago, didn't they refuse to let him onto a plane somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of
I
what he
watched
was
the thing
saying?
about that. Yeah, I watched the thing with that. It was like, oh, didn't we show that on here?
I think you did. Yeah, it was a couple shows ago.
He said something about it. What is this? A song called "I'm Pissing with a Heart On." God knows. We got a vehicle crash has caused a large explosion, injuring multiple firefighters in the Bronx in New York. Holy crap. Is everything just blowing up? UPS airplanes and fucking cars, and look at this shit.
Whoa, play that again? Wow.
Jeez.
Was it electric car?
Probably, that's what I was about to say. It's probably a
Yeah.
fucking Tesla.
Yeah, that's an electric car. Probably the battery popped.
Or it's a vintage Pinto and somebody hit the back.
It was rear-ended when they were parallel parking.
Let's see, a vehicle exploded that left multiple firefighters injured. Witnesses described hearing a powerful blast that shook the area. The exact number of injuries remains unclear, and officials are still working to determine what caused the explosion. Michael Bay. That's what caused the explosion. Oh, good God. Yeah, this guy's getting a lot of playtime, man. He says shit, I think, just to get people riled up too, man.
Yeah.
They're the biggest hypocrites in the world. They're the most hateful people. It's unbelievable. After 2 years of them saying the most unbelievable things about the Palestinians. Here's a quick survey. In First Things, a Catholic magazine, they say there's a virtue in hatred, in hating Palestinians. Randy Fine, an elected representative endorsed by Trump, said it's funny when Palestinian children are starved to death.
Wow.
They say there's no innocence. They say that the children and the women are not innocent. They deserve to die too. They say, give them hell, kill them all. Transfer's not a dirty word. Remove the population. These are the people. They made fun of Aaron Bushnell. Remember the liberal activist that self-immolated in front of the Israeli embassy? They laughed at him. They mocked him. When Greta Thunberg led the convoy to Palestine, they said they should shoot her with a missile or torture her. These are the people that want to turn around now and say, oy vey, your show is so hateful. You're a horrible person. You're vitriol. Save it. No one's buying it anymore. Spare us the emotional blackmail. Spare us the gaslighting, the guilt tripping. No one's buying it anymore. No one's playing that anymore. This is about whether we, the people, will regain control over our government. It's about whether we're going to be America first or Israel first. That is what this is about. That is always what this has been about. Now they hide behind Donald Trump. And they say they're splitting apart the MAGA movement. They were all never Trump in 2016 because Trump said America first. And now that Trump sold out to Miriam Adelson, now they want to run and hide behind him and say, you're not MAGA if you don't support Israel. Let's not forget where we came from here. So we'll get into all that, but I just wanted to say at the outset, let's not forget. Don't be mistaken. Don't let them deflate you. Don't let them gaslight you. Let it wash over you. When they tell you we're hateful, we're monsters, never forget who you're dealing with.
A lot of times it's projection.
Yeah, he's exactly right. He's exactly right with that. Let them fucking scream all they want to. They're the ones that are hateful, you know. And because you don't go along with their hatefulness and you're anti-Semite, oy vey, fuck you.
Oh, I think the world's kind of coming, getting to that.
I'm glad to see it. I'm serious. I am glad to fucking see it.
Lots of people starting to look around and say something ain't right.
I mean, look at that Zoran guy won the election in New York. They're losing their fucking shit about that.
He lost.
Huh?
Mandami guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he lost.
No, he won.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, of course. Because, then people don't know what they're doing. Like we were just talking word magic. They don't know what these people are going to do.
Well, didn't they oust Cuomo because he was all rapey and shit?
Yeah.
And now they pulled him in to run against this motherfucker and wanting to put a rapey guy in there just to not have this guy. And I figure if they went through that kind of trouble, this guy might be up for doing some good stuff. I mean, he sure as hell did rub them wrong when they were asking everybody where would their first trip be to. And they was all, I'll blow I'll blow a fucking donkey for Israel, you know. And he said, no, I'd be here in New York, you know, that's where my job's at, you know, not over in Israel. What the fuck is that? And then they try to pin him down. Do you think Israel has a right to exist? Me? No, I don't. I don't think it has a right to exist at all. I'll tell you why. It's born out of terrorism. Born out of terrorism and corruption. It's bullshit. They don't have any more right to exist. Have that country is no. It's bullshit.
Yeah, they were just dumped in there and told that if they didn't allow them to stay there, then they would deal with our wrath, and then they created their own wrath.
Yeah.
And basically just said, okay, no, thanks for letting us in your house, but it's now ours. You can leave. Wow.
Oh boy, here's Anna. Here's Anna Kasparian. And there again, like we were just saying, man, I can't believe, the shit that they're 180 on.
Loomer hates Marjorie Taylor Greene because
God, that face.
The sign outside of her door letting foreign lobbyists like Israel know, don't come to my office. I'm not taking bribes from you. I'm not interested. I'm America first.
AIPAC, you know what? You can bring it on.
She doesn't want to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel. She's been vocal about that as well.
I don't think we should be fighting wars on behalf of Israel.
Well, that offends the sensibilities of someone who is like a hardcore Zionist, like Laura Loomer, who loves the Israel lobby, loves the influence that the Israel lobby has.
On our website, tyt.com, we asked who's running this fight, Laura Loomer, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or neither. 0% believe that it's Laura Loomer. Correct. Laura Loomer doesn't care about any other issue but Israel. That's the only thing she's obsessed about. She's trying to take out America First guys and put in Israeli First guys. And so she's an Israeli firster through and through. All of her propaganda is on behalf of a foreign government. And I have no idea if she's being paid or not.
Man, Laura Loomer's scary looking.
Isn't she a beast?
Oof.
That's with plastic surgery too, babe.
Yeah, I think they stretched that freaking bean bag over her head or something. She looks like somebody stretched her skin out like it's a ball sack.
Yeah, man, it looks like a swollen ball sack. That's a good. Oh, there's Jessica. Oh, what do we got here? What's Stu Peters saying? Oh, he's going after that Tyler Bowen or Boyer at TPUSA. Dude, this guy, he's sharp with his shit, man. He really is.
So look at this. You have Andrew Colvett, which is one of TPUSA bigwigs on X, talking about how TPUSA is starting 50 new campus chapters every day. 50 new campus chapters every day. So, of course, naturally, you start doing the math and you start taking a look at how many college campuses are there in this country. Well, the answer is right here. That's easy math. And since there's 3,722 degree-granting post-secondary institutions in the United States, including community colleges, Turning Point will have a chapter at every school in the country in just 74 days. But wait a second. What if they're not talking about college campuses? What if they're talking about younger boys? What if they're talking about high schools? And there it is. Pattern recognition. These people have the tendency, the fetish, the knack, the need to constantly put themselves around younger and younger boys. That's just a fact.
Whoa. Wonder what he's implying there, huh? Oh, there's some guys with those hats that we like.
What, the big tire head? The go-kart tire?
I don't know what they're doing. They look like they're enjoying the shit out of it. Oh, I guess does it have a little? No, it doesn't have a little strap. How do they keep that on their head?
Probably something that goes under their ears or something.
Oh, wait, I don't have it up there. There it is.
Maybe it's screwed in.
Oh, it might be.
Oh, it's got a strap.
They have horns. I heard that they have horns. We're having Christian blood fucking mocking. Oh, there's a couple of the beanie wearing.
Different factions.
Do you think they make fun of each other's hats behind their backs and stuff? You know, like the big hat people go, "Oh, look at those small hats. Our hats are so much better than theirs."
It's all the hair that they shave off and collect.
From the Holocaust.
Hey, it's all my pube hair and armpit hair. Make a hat out of it.
What? This is crazy. Hold up a second. See, more of this shit's coming out. This is nuts. Covering for these fucking beanies.
Within hours, the buildings were still burning. There were people in Washington discussing and pushing a war against Iraq, which I don't think any smart person ever believed had any connection to 9/11. There was a lot of reason to believe that having Saddam in power was probably good for the United States as a counterbalance against Iran, as the protector of millions of Christians. There are a lot of reasons that Saddam wasn't the worst, and certainly much better than what we got after. But nevertheless, at the behest of a foreign government, Israel, the United States began preparing for war against Iraq immediately after the attacks on 9/11. Now, I'm not saying I don't know more than that. So you can draw your own conclusions, and I'm not suggesting that they staged 9/11 for that purpose, but I am saying unequivocally they used 9/11 for that purpose. We know that. That's not a conspiracy theory. And it's appalling. It's disgusting.
And of course, you know as well as anybody that well before 9/11, there were all sorts of growing calls and the usual suspects within Washington to try and demand that we engage in regime change in Iraq and remove Saddam Hussein. That was, the sort of great aspiration of neocons, not just in Washington, but also in Israel. And then 9/11 immediately got seized on for that. All right, let me move to all of the issues surrounding Charlie Kirk. And before I get to
may I say one last thing?
Sure.
May I say one last thing that I think is important? So the question about 9/11, the reason people have debated it for 25 years is the question of foreknowledge. Do people know this was coming? And then it's a question of did they know it and allow it unintentionally or intentionally, or did they stage it? I can't answer those questions. But we conclusively answered the larger question, which is, oh yeah, there was foreknowledge of it. There's no question about it. CIA knew the hijackers were here. They knew they were terrorists and they were here to commit acts of terror against the United States. And critically, and this is the fact that somehow blew my mind the most, people bet in the public financial markets, the equity markets, against the airlines involved in 9/11 and the banks in the buildings that were taken down on 9/11. And they bet big, they shorted them, and they made a lot of money. This has been sort of known. What I didn't know is that the U.S. government found the identities of the people who did that, and they withheld them. And to this day, they've never been revealed. So this is a publicly traded series of trades and in public markets, and we can't know who made those trades. Whoever made those trades clearly knew 9/11 was coming, and the government has protected the identity of those people for 24 years.
How much you want to bet they got a Witz, a Berg, or a Stein or something at the end of their name?
Yeah. Matter of
Probably
fact,
probably Netanyahu himself, probably one of them.
this is from you. It's funny you were just putting him up. I was just looking something up. I put a story in from the Times of Israel. U.S. Jewish groups bail from Heritage Foundation's anti-Semitism initiative over Tucker Carlson.
Oh my God!
The other thing too was they used to have a website up. Somebody showed this to me, sent this to me the other day from one of the other streams. Somebody from Rogers or I might have been Vlad's channel, and sent me a thing about the AIPAC had a list of extremist groups. TPUSA was one of them that was on it. So right after that, right after he was so-called killed, they removed the entire registry and took the whole thing offline.
No shit.
Yeah.
So this is let's see. Project Esther, launched as conservative strategy to fight Jew hatred, appears to be unraveling after Foundation's president defended TV personality's friendly interview with anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. The Heritage Foundation's marquee effort to combat anti-Semitism, a coalition known as Project Esther, is rapidly losing members following the conservative think tank's public defense of Tucker Carlson after he gave a friendly interview to the White House to the white nationalist and anti-Semitic provocateur Nick Fuentes. Well, what they expect, he's just get out here and be hateful to him. He's a guest on your show, right?
Yeah. You want to hear what he's got to say?
Yeah, right.
Freedom of speech.
At least
freedom of association.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, you weren't mean to him. These fucking people are really paranoid all the time, anyways, man.
Projection.
Oh my God, they're all the time paranoid.
They talk about everybody hating them, but they hate everybody.
Yeah, and they're all the time worried about something with their health and shit. They're like, there's mucus in my stool.
Let me soak my feet.
I got a bunion the size of Manhattan on my foot. Always bitching and crying about some shit. At least 8 individuals and organizations affiliated with Heritage National Task Force to combat anti-Semitism, launched last year under the Project Esther banner, have resigned or threatened to do so, citing Heritage President Kevin Roberts' decision to stand by Carlson and his description of the television personality's critic as a venomous coalition. The defection suggests that Project Esther, unveiled on the first anniversary of October 7th, 2023, Hamas-led invasion of southern Israel as a conservative national strategy to counter anti-Semitism, could be imploding. Yeah, listen, the whole fucking thing's imploding. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
All of their efforts are actually shooting
Hurting
themselves. They're shooting themselves in the fucking foot with it because people are they've got Jew fatigue.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. They've got Israel fatigue. We're tired of these motherfuckers, man. And listen, I called it perfectly. I said, watch, as soon as they put that motherfucker in, he's going to be make Israel great again. Fuck America. And I didn't disappoint, did I?
So
the
lesser of two evils.
Yeah, the lesser of two evils. Old woman.
If you don't vote, you don't have any right to say anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I do. You didn't put nobody worth a fuck to be in there to vote for. Okay.
Vote for the fuck up and vote for the fuck up. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Which one do you like? He's got a blue suit. He's got a red suit. He's got tits. She doesn't.
God, these people, man. They're really bad.
Take your choice. Getting fucked or getting fucked.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of interesting, too. Yeah. I don't know. We can probably show this. 1933. What happened in 1933? I don't know if this is going to show up to where we can see it. Let's try it.
I put one in the back too about World to World. The attack from Japan to Hawaii was impossible. That was a really good one. They would have had to time the rotation of the planet to make it there. Dude, I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Because the ground would be moving faster than the planes could go.
Man, I'll tell you, I get idiot fatigue. I really do. I get idiot fatigue because like I couldn't believe it. It was like, we had the elections yesterday or today. Yeah, yesterday.
Now hold on, before you go any further. I imagine that whoever the person won, everything is improving immediately. Am I correct?
They got the Abigail Spanberger one.
She make me a spam burger sandwich.
Spam burger and fries, spam and fries, eggs, spam, eggs and bacon and spam.
I don't want spam.
I love the spam fucking skit.
At the spam, wonderful spam.
Yeah, man. You ever watch that Monty Python?
Yeah,
spam.
They had the song that they all sung.
Oh my God. Yeah, because everything in there had spam.
Yeah.
Everything in the restaurant had spam.
Don't want spam.
You ought to read those. It's showing where Judea declared war on Germany. That's one of those things I hate about the TikTok. They got the fucking vertical shit. I hope that dies. I hate TikTok. Oh, speaking of which, Stinky Cash's video of his confrontation with the town board or whatever.
Yeah.
Where he was calling out about those flags. That thing went viral, man. He got like, what did he say, 15,000 fucking views or something on it? Let me see what it says.
When I saw that, I sent him a message immediately and I said, hey, I'm on a show that is a live stream. I didn't know that he'd been on here before. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, hey, and I was going to hit you up and say, hey, get this guy on your show because it's got a lot to do with what we talk about here and there. And he came on and I was like, holy crap. I'm the guy that messaged you. I think that thing had 100 views when I asked him.
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking at. See, that's the fucking thing. I go pick this thing up to look at something, then I get sidetracked from something else that it's trying to show me. Let me see here. What do you say? 115,000 views.
Oof. Yeah, right. Cash. Keep it up.
Hell, it had 15.5 thousand views in 32 hours. Now it's up to 115,000.
Wakey.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. More and more people are realizing, seeing it. I think that's why I look, this whole fucking kissing Israel's ass has really rubbed people the wrong way with this, especially seeing Donald Trump the way he's been. And they killed MAGA. They killed MAGA by clutching onto that little fucking dirt hole. That's what they did. They killed it. And consequently, it spilled over to the rest of the Republican Party. They're going to have to. It's going to be hard to recover from that because people are into an America first on both sides.
Yeah,
putting America first.
But let me ask you this: the next elections come around. Who do you vote for? Who do you think the average schmuck is going to vote for? The average person, the TV watcher, the person that has no clue what's going on anywhere, doesn't know what shape this place is, doesn't care.
I know. It's like that person on we have a Page County Facebook page, where people go on there. It's called Everything Page County or whatever. And somebody posted on there, said, why are we having this election? Didn't we already just vote for a president?
Yeah.
And I just commented, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I can't believe this. These people are coming out of school, don't know dick. You know, maybe they need to bring back Schoolhouse Rock.
Totally unaware. Electric Company. Bring back Easy Reader.
You remember that? That was, you learned a lot of cool shit, and that stuck with me, man. That shit stuck with me. Right? Conjunction, junction. What's your function? You remember that one? And
Yep.
what was that one? It's I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. Yeah, man. And then it taught you real quick, like in TikTok type mode.
Yeah.
Something that, and it would carry you through, I mean, for the rest of your life. As it did with me, you know, is that one about the bicentennial was coming. See, when I was a kid, we're coming up on the sesquibicentennial now, where it's going to be the 250 years. But man, 1975, 1976, everything was motherfucking red, white, and blue American flags. About the revolution and George Washington and all this shit, man. Bicentennial. People walking around wearing American flag pants and shit. I'm not kidding you. And
Evel Knievel.
what was that one they had on the Schoolhouse thing where it was talking about the Lexington and Concord? And I still remember that song. Go, get your powder and get your gun. Report to General Washington. The Minutemen were ready on the march. It's like, still remember that shit, man. Verb, you know, and it taught you something too. You know, they're talking about verb in school. That cartoon comes in your head. That's right. That's an action word. That's doing shit.
What was the other one where the kids were riding the dragon? Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow.
What about the Great Space Coaster?
Space Coaster, yeah. That was the other
Space Coaster, come on board. It's a great. Oh my god, yeah,
that was it.
You gotta love that shit.
Sue Ratio said that she said only one thing I vote on is polls. I like polls. With the winky eye. Naughty, Sue, naughty.
Sue, behave yourself. We already had one age restricted on here now, and I don't even know why that was. You know what? This was temporarily set. The one from last night was temporarily set that it couldn't be viewed anywhere because of something I showed. And so I had to go back and trim that out. It was the one about from Saturday Night Live where the dudes are fighting over who blow a donkey for Israel. They, you know, oh, we hate that, but we can get them on a copyright, you know. Okay, whatever. Like, I'm not even fucking monetizing.
Mark Pugna said sweet pickles. Sweet pickles. Remember sweet pickles? You could have them like come to your party. What was the one where you could call them and they would show up in a van? People were all dressed up as squirrels. Sweet pickles.
I don't recall that.
Sweet pickles. Hold on, I'll have to find it.
Oh, come on, man. No, I don't recall that one. I remember, didn't they have some stupid show where there was this puppet that was an alien and he was always wanting to eat the cats? Alf. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Alf.
What the fuck is that? I watched it one time. I said, this is the dumbest shit. And people said, I love that show. I'm like, man. Yeah, you read People magazine though, too. So, you know, there's that.
Here, have fun. I put
Alf, that's it.
I put the link in the back for Sweet Pickles.
Of course, now I liked My Favorite Martian. Did you ever watch that?
I think I did, yeah. I
It's
think I seen it
black and white.
reruns.
Yeah, it wasn't in color. That was before they had the whole world was in color. The whole world was in black and white until they invented color. I remember that. I didn't even know what color my clothes were until after like about 1972. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, my favorite Martian always had those little antennas would come up out of his head.
Yeah.
And there again, having to keep it a secret, having to keep calling him Uncle Martin, when in reality he's an alien that crashed here on Earth. That was pretty cool.
Didn't they do the same thing on Family Guy with Roger?
Yeah. Hey, wasn't that Bill Bixby on that show?
Who?
My Favorite Martian?
Oh, yeah, it might have been actually. Yeah. The Incredible Hulk, the guy that was in the Incredible Hulk. Bill Bixby. I remember seeing him from pre-Incredible Hulk when it was him and the son.
It was
Eddie's father.
Martin O'Hara, Uncle Martin O'Hara, that was played by Ray Walston, which wasn't he wait a second, wasn't he Dr. Smith on the The Martian was actually Dr. Smith on the Lost in Space. That's right. Wow. I didn't even connect that shit till just now. Bill Bixby, he was involved with that Magic Castle. And remember he had that magician show that was on for a while?
No.
Yeah, man. Bill Bixby, he's a magician. And he would feature different magicians from the Magic Castle in Hollywood on this TV show. I don't think it lasted a long time. Leave you out of it? No, Roger, we're not leaving you out of it. Roger is the alien that has crashed into Sean Hannity's house. That's why I always call fucking Sean Hannity American Dad. Of course, he's getting kind of gray now. But back in the day. Anyway, Candace, so somebody's going to try to take her out in this play.
And I know for a fact also that one of his first phone calls, it wasn't just 2 phone calls he made 3, because he also called Elizabeth McCoy, his wife, who screamed at the office. Okay. And so we're not being told the truth. That's what I'm getting at. We are not being told the sensible truth. Was his phone call to Erica only 10 seconds? Like you just drop that news and keep it moving? Or was he already on the phone with Rob McCoy? What happened? Okay. I need clarification, because every day that goes on, it feels to me like Turning Point is engaged in a cover-up. And there's no other way to say this. There is no other ways. I don't care who at Turning Point tweets. I literally do not care. I will breathe fire on all of you. I know how these events work. Why was this event confirmed so quickly when it was requested so late? Answer these questions. I need answers to these questions to understand what happened on that day. Because the way that Mikey moves is like he knows where he's going. It's like they know where they're going to meet. And we know that they got to the hospital very quickly, because Blake Neff says elsewhere, they got into the hospital within 25 minutes, okay? They knew instantly where the hospital was. They knew which direction to go to, the communication that's flowing. I think Frank said he was on the phone while they were in the car with his family members. Don't quote me on that. So all of this happened. You instantly got to the hospital, which, by the way, the hospital was put on lockdown when Charlie came in, is what we were told.
What?
They let Mikey.
Wait a second. They put the hospital on lockdown? Why?
Just another person.
Right. Why would they put the hospital on lockdown? See, this whole thing, yeah.
So you're telling me anybody else in there, they were like, get out, or just lockdown for what? Who's going to hurt them? Everybody's sick.
Now, I tell you what, that whole shooting thing was 100% fucking fake.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Charlie is still alive, but he was when they took him out of there. Okay. That whole thing was staged. Now, what they did with him once they got him out of there and pretended he was dead, whether they really killed him, whether he's, off in hiding somewhere, hanging out in Fiji, whatever the fuck, I don't know. But the reality of it is, I know there wasn't nobody fucking killed there at the UVU campus.
No.
Nobody was fucking killed. That shit was fake as shit. I don't know how much more proof you got. Now they're going to have this little dog and pony show trial and play like that and everything. And it's wild because I get to talk to some of the normies, and I almost, I didn't want to be insulting, but I almost, in the conversation, I was like, look, man, if you believe the FBI's official narrative on this shit, you're retarded. And I'm glad I didn't, because I'm all I did was I said, man, they ain't got enough to get this kid on. I said that I don't think he done the shooting. I mean, look at all this. How the fuck did he take the gun apart? How did he put it back together? You don't have any clear image of this guy running across the roof. You don't know it's him. If it could be anybody, there's no shadow on the guy. He's supposed to have a rifle with him, and he doesn't. And somehow, and I went through all that stuff, and he goes, yeah, but they got DNA. And I said, yeah, like that can't be planted. Right? How many movies and TV shows have we seen where people plant fucking DNA to win a case? There's a whole movie with Michael Douglas where this kid he's got an idea that this prosecutor, it's Michael Douglas, has been fabricating DNA evidence in order to get convictions and shit. And so he goes about trying to set the guy up. And, this is an age-old story, at least since the forensics included DNA. I mean, how many people have we had released out of prison and off of death row and shit because they found out that the DNA was bullshit? That it was either planted or DNA evidence shows that it wasn't them or some kind of thing like that. You don't hear about it often because they want you to, but in all reality, man, they can plant DNA anywhere.
Sure, on anything, and put it on anything, and put it anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the electronic shit is? That's just an electronic DNA. Yeah. Now they can just simulate your phone and say, no, you were there. Here you are. Here's your phone. Here's the signal. Here's your thing. I mean, think about the problems that they're creating by doing this. What was wrong with just physically doing something and going somewhere? It's one thing to have cameras. I say, sure, put cameras, put them everywhere. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing, so I don't have anything to worry about. But this whole idea that no, you just have to have chips and chips on your shoes, chips and everything, chip this, chip that. That's going to stop becoming a problem, and then they're going to bring in the fix for it and say, oh no, here's the fix for it. Just buy this. Just get this. Just get this other thing, and that'll fix it. And now you got another chip on you, and a chip in this, and a chip in your license, and a chip in your ass, and a chip everywhere else.
Well, these trains that go by over here, they got these scanners on the water tower right next to the tracks. And it's an RFID chip reader. Okay. And as the train is going by, every product in every one of those cars has its own RFID.
Yeah, reasonable.
And that thing does a complete inventory of everything on that train as it goes by.
Yeah. Well, you've been hearing a lot of things now with people standing in line and someone's behind you and they just scanned your pocket.
Yeah.
You just run a little fucking beep beep and that's it. Now they got every chip, and they could make a card with a RFID chip with the shit on it and go and put it in a machine and empty your shit, take your stuff. Now digital footprint is DNA, and that they'll start using this shit to frame people and screw people and say, you were here. Look, your car has a chip, your bank card has a chip, your passport's got a chip, your phone's got a chip, I mean, it's just horseshit.
Dr. Baz Ackwards, I am surprised that they haven't Oswalded this guy out, done a Jack Ruby on him. It's Fat Lady ain't sang yet. Fat Lady hasn't sung yet, but it would be very convenient because he's already convicted in the court of public opinion. The normies that watch the Fox News and all that shit, they're going to believe the FBI shit because they're trained to respond to authority and never once critically think like we have and look at the evidence and look at the different view angles and all this other shit.
Yeah.
They don't even do that. Oh, the FBI said it was this kid shot him from a roof and they got him and he's going to go to court and they're going to have his trial in January. And no cameras in the courtroom though. So, or probably won't even really be a fucking trial.
I know, but a situation like that, so they could go and frame and find kooks all over the place. They could have been 10 people showed up there.
Yeah.
Or if something happened to one, they could just go to plan 2. Like this
And
whole
there
thing
was
stinks.
12 Israeli cell phones there. So, but I like I said, man, I think that they faked his death. They faked his assassination.
And then killed him.
And then who knows where it went from there, whether or
Yeah.
not they said, hey, we're really going to take you out, or whatever, but we're going to use this, or whether he's completely complicit in the whole thing, and they are too. I don't know. But I do know this. There wasn't nobody got fucking shot at that pavilion. Okay. No. That's all.
I've seen bullets hit things. Hit things. That was
Man of steel neck. Got a fucking man of steel neck. Get out of here with that.
It would have shot his head over into the crowd.
30-06 is a devastating round, man.
Yep. It's moving fast and it's real heavy.
Oh yeah.
So it does big damage.
No damage. That's a good freeze right there. looks like she got downs.
In. Maybe that's true. It sounds like it is true. Obviously, we know that you were there when they came out and said that Charlie had died, according to Blake Neff, and according to Frank Turek's testimony. But a lot of this little stuff is not making sense. Okay? It's not making sense. And you cannot tell me that to dispel this rumor, right, by letting people see the call logs, by letting people see the video footage, would somehow hurt the case. Because that's the BS they're selling us right now. Like transparency would hurt the case. And like I've said, if transparency would hurt the case, then it's because you don't have a case. Okay? If transparency would hurt the case, it's because you don't have a case. And if you're telling me that your phone logs on that day would somehow hurt the case, you are asking me to be an idiot. And I can't be an idiot. I can't pretend that I was born yesterday. You're lying. They're lying about the phone calls. They're lying about the timing of the phone calls. The phone calls don't make sense.
What's on her cup?
I'm going to chill.
I don't know.
Says we know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'll tell you, are you familiar with the whole sequence of events that they're talking about with these phone calls, this Mikey Smith?
No.
Or Mikey, what was it, McCoy?
No.
He's already on the phone when the shot happens.
Oh yeah, the guy that did the video
around like that. Yeah, the story is that he saw it happen and then he called Erica, but he was already on the phone with somebody. So what the fuck? None of this makes any damn sense at all. None of it. I don't think they expected people to delve into this as tight as they have. Oh, here we got something to start the day off with a good laugh. It says, let's see. It's something about the Chinese astronauts coming back.
Oh,
yeah. They don't land in the water. They ain't a bunch of fucking pussies. They hard dirt it, man.
Yeah, right into the concrete.
Yeah, they do. Monster face.
Every one of them would have a broken spinal cord.
Damn.
Bullshit. You'd have a broken fucking back. Your back would be broken. Drop you from 20 feet and you could break a vertebrae in your back. You're telling me you're going to fall like that in that big ass heavy thing? And you're going to hit the ground and it's going to tumble over at the same time while it's jamming you down in the seat.
Oh, God, yeah. It's like that Katy Perry thing when that thing landed. It was that whole thing. Boy, they ain't talking about that no more, are they?
No. Did you see when he went to go open the door? It was like it was made out of canvas. Like, yeah, that was in space, all right. Yeah. I'm also a zillionaire. And I'm looking to buy bridges.
That's what we're after. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. The 5th of November, history of Guy Fawkes. Are you guys familiar with that? Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I think we read that on here last night, didn't we? Let me see if I can find it. Wow, that came up right off the bat. Ching, ding, 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 ding. It's a good movie, incidentally, too. They have that in the what the hell? The V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
You've heard that, haven't you?
Yeah. I've never seen it. I've seen clips of it here and there, people talking about it.
Let's see. This is it's under nursery rhymes even. So it says, remember the 5th of November, or please remember, are variations of a nursery rhyme that commemorates the day in 1605 when a group of Roman Catholics, including Guy Fawkes, were caught in the act of trying to blow up the House of Parliament with 36 barrels of gunpowder. When news of the plot got out, Londoners were so relieved that the conspirators had been caught that they lit bonfires throughout the city in celebration. Over the centuries, the celebrations have become more elaborate, and now fabulous fireworks displays are featured throughout England on November the 5th. Before that day, children make effigies of Guy Fawkes, which they take door to door asking for a penny for the guy. On bonfire night, these guys are traditionally burnt on top of a bonfire.
Well, it kind of sounds like the cremation of care.
Let's see. This thing says, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes, 'twas his intent to blow up the king and parliament. 70 barrels of powder below to prove old England's overthrow. By God's providence, he was catched with a dark lantern and burning match. Holla boys, let the bells ring. Helloa boys, God save the king. And what should we do with him? Burn him. Let's see, and then they had the original version is please to remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. And then a popular children's version to commemorate the 5th of November. Guy, poke him in the eye, put him on the bonfire, and there let him die. Why do they give such horrible fucking things to kids? Think about it. That's for children. That's a little song for children. Guy, poke him in the eye, put him on the bonfire, and there we let him die. Wow. Sick shit. It's like Ring Around the Rosie. That's about the bubonic plague.
Pocket full of posies.
Yeah. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo is actually a Celtic ritual of picking a fucking sacrifice. I mean, what the hell?
The thing that you use, the potty thing that you swing around on New Year's, was a warning that gas was coming in. When you swing it around, it makes the noise. It makes the noise. That was to let everybody know to put their mask on.
We come up with such unique and fascinating ways to kill each other.
Mustard gas. That's what it was. It was to warn of mustard gas.
I met a man who'd been exposed to mustard gas in World War I. Had a real raspy voice, burned his throat right out.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. He told me this story when he was over there. Of course, these lines hardly moved. And they'd been getting water out of this shell crater, using it to cook and wash up with and everything. Weeks went by and the weather started getting warmer and the water started drying up out of this shell hole. He went out there to get water out of it, and there was a dead Frenchman been down there in the bottom of that fucking hole the whole time.
Ugh.
They'd been drinking that water.
Drinking the water juice.
Did it taste like frog?
Ugh.
Anyway.
A lot of my followers are outside of the UK, so let me start. In England, today is the Guy Fawkes Night. And for anyone who doesn't know the story, it goes like this. In 1605, a group of men tried to blow up the English Parliament. They wanted to shift power, change the system, rewrite the structure. Guy Fawkes became the face of that plan. He failed, was arrested, and the empire survived. And yet his name became a symbol, not of chaos, but of the idea that people sometimes stand against the world they are born into. Now, I'm not here glorifying explosives. Let's be adults. I am talking about the psychology and metaphysics behind the rebellion. Every tradition, mystical, religious, esoteric, has a figure who challenges the order. Prometheus bringing fire, Loki provoking transformation, Samael questioning divine authority. In mysticism, the rebel is never only a villain. They are catalysts. They expose what is fragile in a system. Guy Fawkes Night looks like fireworks and bonfires today. A family event, sparkles, kids, toffee apples, but the subconscious layer? A nation reenacts the memory of rebellion every year with fire. Fire has always symbolized purification in alchemy, burning away the old to reveal the truths underneath. And masks, by the way, the ones people wear now with that iconic Fawkes face. Masks are ancient tools. In mystery traditions, they are gateways. You put one on to strip illusion, not hide behind it. So today isn't just about history, it's about the strange way society preserves the memory of the thing it fears most. Revolt, awakening, a spark that refuses to stay quiet. Because every age asks the same question, is stability peace? Or sometimes is disruption a necessary alchemy?
So now y'all is educated up on the Guy Fawkes. Got you all straightened around.
This whole show was an education, man.
What's that?
So this whole show was an education.
Oh yeah, man. You always got to learn stuff, man. You got to learn. Why not? It's not like your brain is full or anything. Oh, here's something good about reptilian shapeshifters.
Cubby said Cubby wanted to know if the mustard was yellow or Dijon.
He said it had a yellow hue to it. That's one of the reasons they called it that. It did have a yellow hue to it. But you know, it's kind of like you can make kind of the same thing if you mix chlorine bleach with ammonia. It's pretty much the same thing.
Nasty stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. It sinks down in the lowest places. See.
Yeah, it drops down.
Yeah, because they were in these trenches, right? So how you get them to come up out of these trenches? You fill a fucking trench full of gas.
Jump out.
And then they come up out of there panicking because of the gas, and you just mow them down with those Maxim machine guns. See?
Yeah.
There again, interesting ways for us to kill each other. We're still throwing rocks at each other too. You know that, right? We're still just throwing fucking rocks at each other.
Yep.
He's hot. Yeah, what was up with that thing on her eye, man? You remember that?
Yeah.
What was up with that?
She's got a googly eye.
There's a lizard eye coming out. Came from where fucking Philip was biting her during mating. Fucking scared the shit out of that little kid. The horse didn't want to get near him either. Force don't even want to get close to her.
Yep.
Backing away and shit. Yeah, no. Fucking kids, animals, everything want to recoil away from her. That's pretty bad. Not too much about being beloved, is it?
No. No.
There's that
Queenie.
mouse on the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket.
Is it falconing?
There's a mouse on the engine. You ever
Oh.
seen this?
Yeah, I've seen that. That wasn't an old one from before.
Yeah, that's right here.
The next episode of Space is Fake, a mouse was spotted on the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Look at this little guy chilling on this rocket that's in the vacuum of space. He's fine though. Weird, right? Like, imagine thinking this is real and being one of those people that's like, yeah, SpaceX, globe Earth, astronauts. You're all just completely gone in your heads. Like, look at that. Think. The next episode of Space is Fake.
Yeah, next to that glowing steel, whatever the hell it is, well, it's glowing red. Yeah, no, that mouse is fine.
Yeah, he's fine. It's not. They're so full of shit with that stuff. What is going on? Yeah, I guess everybody's really bummed out about that. That guy winning the election.
Yeah, well, good luck, New York. I don't think he won shit. I think he was put in there.
Well, the whole thing is this: good luck, New York. I think this again is reflective of this thing that's happening, whether it is really organic or whether it's being coerced. But this people just had enough of these goddamn Israel and this APEC and all that shit. And why are we putting these fucking idiots ahead of us? What the hell are we doing? All these people going off and dying in wars for them. And, they're sick of it. They're realizing what it is. And there's a reason that they're allowing people to hear about it. Because before they would censor the fuck out of you for talking about this.
Yeah.
But now, everybody's talking about it. So I don't know, man. But I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight, man. That's coming up here 3 hours, and I'm pretty good. I'm going to have to go in here and chill. I think I'm going to see. I'm bacheloring out here tonight because the wife went up to see her sister in New York.
Was she upstate or New York City?
Yeah, New York, upstate.
Yeah, cool. It's beautiful up there. I spent a lot of time in my life. I spent a lot of time of my life in upstate New York.
So yeah, she's up there. So I'm gonna make me a nice little late night meal. I'm gonna have some White Castles and Cheetos, baby.
It's not good for your blood pressure.
Yeah, well, no, it is good for my blood pressure. It gives me good. See, the problem is that I have too much blood.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So no, actually, I got the blood pressure. It's still high, but it's down a lot lower than what it was, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that was ridiculous. Fucking 220 over 120. That's
real high.
What? Yeah.
I was the lady took mine. This is after I was like 2 weeks out of my job, and 2 weeks. Well, it was like a week. And she took mine and she took the thing and said, "I'll be right back." And she went into another room and grabbed another band and put it back on me. And I knew right there that something was wrong. And mine was like 200 over, same thing, like 120, 140. It was insanely high. And she was like, "You feel okay?" I said, "Yeah, why? I feel fine." I get all worked up when I'm in the hospital. I want to get in and get out as fast as I can. I do not want to be there.
Hospital is just like jail. It's the same, exactly the same.
Everything about it.
You can never rest. It's always the lights are on.
Yeah.
There's always noise.
Yeah.
Things
going off the smell.
Yeah, you never know what the fuck time it is. You don't never, and nobody
Yeah.
will answer any questions. You know, you can just, yeah, I hate it.
He did the same thing that he did to you and told me, well, I'm going to give you a prescription to get your blood pressure down.
Good.
So I took it for like a month, not even. And then I just took the pills and threw them in the trash and said, okay, I don't need that. And then just changed what I ate, you know, and my last time I went, I was 110/70. So that's, and you know, I'm down almost 100 pounds. I'm over 300.
Sovereign D man, go to White Castle. No shit. No shit.
But I mean, you know, I'm down almost 100 pounds, so that probably had a lot to do with it too. Thank God.
You know that's right, flatmate. You know that's right. You're gonna be sitting out there. They ain't gonna be underwater for 8 hours. Deep sea welders, you know, underwater welders. They ain't down there for no fucking 8 hours welding and shit. Doing.
I haven't had a White Castle in a long time. Whenever we used to go to Georgia, I would go to Crystal, and Crystal's like the Georgia version of White Castle.
You can get them in the freezer section at the supermarket. They don't. Yeah, we don't. I haven't seen a White Castle. I think I saw one up in Michigan when I was up there. It seems like we passed by one, maybe. But hell, I think the last time I'd actually eaten from White Castle was probably back early 80s. Yeah, around in the early 80s. Because, man, on Friday night or whatever, we'd go up there and just buy big fucking sacks full of goddamn shit, man. Sack full of those cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A sack full of those onion petals. And
yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
See, now you're making me hungry, bastard.
They were good, especially if you was drunk, man.
Yeah.
That's why we called them belly bombs.
Yeah, they are real good, though. Yeah. I haven't had one in a long time. Been a while.
Well, I got
sliders.
It worked out. Oh man, yeah, they got these sliders in the freezer section. They're pretty good. They're TGI Fridays, I think. It's like named after one of them outfits like that. But they're pretty good. It got the grilled onions on it and shit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I like if I ain't got a lot of time or do something. I like to have something like that, but not all the time, I'll tell you, up here at the gas station, the convenience store just up the end of the road, it's not part of a chain or anything. But let me tell you something, man. They got the best fucking meatloaf and fried chicken you've ever had. I'm not kidding you. And it's decent price. You go up there, they got the mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, all that shit. And you just tell them what you want. They load it up, go up there and pay for it. There's people like for their Sunday family dinner and shit, they'll call down here and get like $100 worth of food or more just for, everybody after church. But yeah, some of the best chicken I've ever had, man.
We used to my friend used to drive to Alabama and we would stop at Flying J, the truck stop. Used to have, you can get a T-bone steak and a plate of fries and an endless, a literal whole pot of coffee for like $10. And it was like the best deal on the planet. So every time we drive down there, I'd say, exit's coming up. My friend would be like, man, every time. Like, nope, don't have Flying J where we are. Got to get a T-bone steak.
You start running into Flying J's. I'm trying to remember if that was north and south. About down by Wytheville is about where you start running into Flying J's. Mostly what we got up around this way. Well, they just opened up a Buc-ee's. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but they got 100 gas pumps.
Yeah.
They just opened one of those over in Harrisonburg. But for the longest time before that, it was Sheetz. Yeah, SHEETZ.
Do you remember when Howard Johnson's was everywhere?
Oh yeah, Hojo.
Everywhere. Every highway, off the highway, it's always a Howard Johnson's.
And they're all gone, but some of the buildings still remain, and something else is in the building now. But you can tell it was a Howard Johnson.
Yeah. Up here on the turnpike, if you're going towards New York City, It's Roy Rogers.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
Roy Rogers all up and down that highway going to New York.
How about Big Boy?
Yeah, I never seen. That's a California thing, isn't it?
No, well, they had it in Michigan.
Yeah, Big Boy.
Little dude with the hair.
Yeah,
and
holding the thing.
holding a hamburger up like that. I used to like that pretty good. They had a sandwich in there that I really liked, the patty melt. That was done really good. And the way they grilled those onions was perfect.
See?
I'm making myself fucking hungry right now.
See, that's why I was 100 pounds overweight and you got high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Damn you, Buc-ee's and everything else.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Sometimes it's, you got to get that shit. That's just how
Road
it
food.
is.
Road food, as my father used to call it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what that place is. I think it's in New Mexico. And it's this truck stop, man. It's got a car museum in it, and it's a restaurant. And oh man, I'll have to look for my pictures on it. I'm trying to remember what the name of that place is. But it was really, man, talk about a nice meal for a good price, good truck stop food, Go in here and get a big fucking 3-egg omelet and sausage and bacon and potatoes and everything for about $5.
It's the Travel Center. Russell's Travel Center.
Yeah, Russell Travel Center. That's it. Yeah. Oh man, every time when I'd be going through there, I'd have Brandy with me, and they got a little dog park there and everything, man. But I'd take Brandy, and I'd sit out there and smoke on my vape and let her walk around in the little dog park and shit, and then go inside. I'd have to put her back in the Jeep because she couldn't go in the restaurant, so she'd be back in the Jeep, and I'd always order her some extra sausage, and just to mix it up, she got to have links and patties, so because she was a princess. God rest her. Well, she's out back now. She's not forgotten though. We're gonna find that picture of her I had. I sent it to my wife she's going to print that. I have a thing that we did clay with her footprint in it and an ink stamp with her paw print. And then in the middle's got a place for her picture. And let me show you the picture I thought was one of the best ones. This is how she always looked at me. This is it's kind of choking me up a little bit looking at it, but.
Yeah, German Shepherd, huh?
Yeah, mostly.
Got big ears. Wow.
Mostly, yeah, I know. And when I first got her, she was really skinny. And she'd lay there with those big ass ears sticking up like that. And I'd say, look at you. You look like a fruit bat. I told her she looked like a fruit bat. But that was the thing. I always told her how pretty her ears were. And
I had a collie when I was a kid that looked like Lassie, except it was all black. It was the same exact dog. Kelly.
Yeah, breaks my heart that she's gone, but
I have a picture of me and that dog on top of a snowbank in 1978. With me and the dog sitting on a snowbank. It's the only picture I have from being a little kid and the dog in the same picture. Me, my brother, and the dog. Was when they had the big blizzard of 78 and the snow was like 6 feet over the cars. It was ridiculous from all the drifts and stuff, and I don't remember it. Obviously, I got TBI, so I don't remember it, but my mom took the picture out and showed it to me one day. And I said, can I keep this? She was like, yeah, it's me and the dog, my brother. So I feel you, man,
Well, Brandy, she was a fine girl. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what was so weird after I picked her up when I first got her, and she was so excited to go home with me. I was the only one she'd let put the little leash on her. She was just going crazy. So anyways, I was like, got her in the Jeep, and started backing out of the place, and got on the road and turned on the radio. And I'll be damned if that song "Brandy" by Looking Glass come on. And I said, look there, I said, you even come with your own song, don't you? Yeah. And so when I'd play it, it was wild because when it says, hey, Brandy, she'd tilt her head. She'd tilt her head. She'd hear her name being said all the time. So that was her song. Anyway, I got to get off here. I'm going to go eat, and then I got to get to bed because.
Have a good dinner. Good to see you, man. It was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. We'll cover part 3 tomorrow. The chapter 3 anyways. And it's not a real big book, so we should be through it pretty good at short order. But hopefully you're learning a lot from that out there, people that are watching.
Good to see everybody in chat.
More stuff like that, we'll delve into it. Maybe if you know some stuff about words that you want to share, be sure to put it in the and put a comment down there and share it with the rest of the world. It'd be great. Like we said, we're viewer supported, not YouTube won't let us have money. So if you like the show and you want to support the show, the links to PayPal are in the description, and also the Cash App at SSUM 369 is either one of those. I think I'm going to do, there's another one I was looking at too that some people like better to deal with. I might get involved with. We'll take a look. But anyway, D-Man, thanks for coming up. Good to see you. I thought Chad was going to come up, but he was just hanging in the chat, so that's cool too. We'll probably be right back here tomorrow night, and we'll go over chapter 3. And as we always like to say, don't forget, the Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him, because he'll probably kill you. And if you heard the shot, probably wasn't meant for you. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody.